Look at you, Mr. Superstar. Who would have thought that you'd be this good? You really made an impression. I mean, did you see the look on my mom's face? I've never seen her smile like that before. I think the last time she was that happy was when she was watching me at my graduation. It's really good to know that my parents actually like you. I'm so excited that we're going to get married now. I'm going to be with an amazing guy, and my parents actually like him as well. Oh, could it get any better?
Well, Eileen, I'm really glad that you're happy. I put a lot of effort into making myself presentable today. I hope your parents liked what they saw.
Are you kidding me? A handsome guy with a work ethic like yours? Of course they're going to love you. But if I'm being honest, I didn't really have any doubts that today wouldn't go well. Like, let's all be honest about the guy I'm about to marry. If this is the guy who can smash any interview that comes his way, then I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to impress my parents.
Well, I thank you for the vote of confidence in me. If I'm speaking honestly about myself, I was quite confident I'd be able to leave a good impression. In fact, maybe I probably left even too much of a good impression. I was a little bit uneasy being there with your parents. I feel like I'm not someone who can really relate to them well.
Well, this is a very interesting comment coming from you. What happened all of a sudden? I thought you were sitting there having fun today. It seems like you and my parents were getting along just fine.
Well, I'm quite good at giving that impression, aren't I? It looks good on the outside, but on the inside, I was actually very curious about what was going on. I was quite surprised by what I saw today, Eileen. I had no idea that you came from this family.
Okay, you say surprised, but do you mean that in a good way or a bad way?
Well, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm just gonna keep it neutral for the meantime.
Are you serious right now? You're going to keep it neutral? You know what that means, right? You clearly weren't impressed by what you saw today. Here I was, thinking that you were the one who had to impress my parents. Little did I know that it would actually be the other way around. So what's going on? Were you actually judging them or something?
Alright, look, I wasn't judging them or anything. It's just that you're a very unique girl, Eileen. You're so smart, well-mannered, and really refined. Before I met you, I'd been on dates with lots of girls.
Okay, Mr. Ladies Man. You don't need to sit there and brag to me. You already made me jealous enough as it is.
No, just listen to me. I'm not trying to make you jealous or anything. I'm just trying to paint you a picture of why I adore you and like you so much. When I say that I've never really met another girl like you, Eileen, I really mean it. And this isn't one of those lines I tell all the girls.
Sure it isn't. I'm probably the 80th girl you've said that one to.
Well, you know what? Let's assume that you are at the end of the day. You're the only one that I'm marrying, right? You should feel special about that.
There you go with the cute romantic lines. You always know how to get me.
But there are so many things that I love about you. You're kind, you're courteous. You know how to behave yourself. You know how to act when we're out at a fancy restaurant like this. You know what table manners are. You're courteous towards the staff too. There's all these things that I like about you. These are very little tiny things that not many people care about, but I actually think it's really important. Especially with the way that I was brought up.
Oh yeah, please don't tell me. I know all about the way you were brought up. I've already met your dad. He's a real charmer, isn't he? Like, okay, I get it. I know you can't put your elbows on the table, but is it that big of a deal?
I can tell you're getting a little bit annoyed with my dad, and I'll admit even for myself, he's pretty pedantic at times. I'm no different from him, right? There's still many times when I get up to you for things like that, isn't there?
I know, and it's just that one thing that I have to accept about you. I'm really hoping this marriage goes well without you breathing down my neck all the time.
Well, hey, what I'm trying to say is that you're really good at this type of thing. I rarely have to point things out to you, right? And when I met your mom today, I thought it all made sense. She's kind of like my dad. She's super refined and doesn't want to do anything that's considered grotesque. For that whole time, she sat up with her back straight and was very clean when she ate her food. She didn't stuff her face full of it. Your dad, on the other hand, was a different story. I was really surprised about what I saw today.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking that you'd say something about him.
What is going on there? When I was thinking about meeting your parents today, I thought that they would be exactly like mine. Or at least somewhat similar. Your dad was on a different level, though. I've never really met a guy like that before.
What do you mean by a guy like that? What was so bad about him?
Hey, look, I'm not saying he was bad or anything, but it was just really bizarre. It was kind of like he didn't even grow up in the society that we did. Did you see the way that he was trying to eat that spaghetti? He was using the fork as if it was a spoon. I thought I was watching a 2-year-old. Didn't anyone teach him how to curl the noodles around the fork and eat it that way?
Hey, I don't want you to sit there making fun of my dad because of the way he eats. I can find plenty of things to make fun of you for.
No, look, I'm not making fun of him or anything. I just think it was very interesting. He's a very quirky guy, isn't he? I mean, did you hear when the chef called out the dish for our table? Your dad rushed into the kitchen and actually went and fetched it himself. I've never seen something like that before. He really caused a commotion in there.
Yeah, well, what can I say? That's my dad for you. He really cares a lot. He's just a really nice guy.
Is nice what you would call it, or is he just unfamiliar with this type of thing? I mean, even the way he was behaving at the table was really bizarre. He kept burping all the time, right? Whenever your mom was speaking to us, he'd interrupt with a burp. I can tell that stuff really annoyed her. I saw what type of look she had on her face. I'm even starting to doubt that's even your father.
Oh, come on. Are you serious? You really gonna say something so stupid to me?
Well, I'm being honest. Is that honestly your dad? He seems like he's from a different planet. How would your mom get attracted to something like that in the first place?
Hey, can you cut that out already? Don't forget, this is my dad that you're talking about.
Okay, look, I'm sorry. I was just really taken aback by everything.
Well, do you have anything nice to say about what happened today? So far, it just feels like you want to put my dad down.
Well, there are a couple of good things, a lot of highlights, I guess. When the food came out, it was really good. It finally got rid of that smell.
What smell?
You didn't have this weird smell the whole time that we were eating there? It was absolutely putrid. I have never smelled something like that in my entire life. Good thing that the fragrant fatty butter with garlic melting on the plate was enough to dispel it away. I don't think I could have sat there for another minute, honestly.
What smell are you talking about? There is nothing there.
Hold on a second. Don't say I'm going crazy right now. We both know there was a smell there. Don't try and deny it. You could smell that from a mile away. I was almost as close to calling someone to warn them about the restaurant. Just look around at all the other customers. They were all turning their faces up at it.
Oh, come on, Harry. You're just full of crap right now. There wasn't any smell. You're overreacting.
Honestly, there was a smell. You have to admit it.
Anyway, you know what? Let's just put all that behind us. We finally got your parents' approval, and we got my parents' approval too. You know what that means, right?
I sure do. It means we're finally going to be able to spend the rest of our lives with each other. You have no idea how excited I am for this. Eileen, this is the first step towards me achieving my dream. I've got that new job working in the bank. Everyone loves me, and there's a lot of good people there. Things are only looking up from this point on. It is not going to be too long until we can have our own family.
Oh, Harry, you have no idea how excited I am for that. I just can't wait to have a couple of little feet running around the house.
Oh, really? You want a couple of babies, do you? Here I was worrying that you only wanted one, or even worse, maybe you wanted none at all.
Are you kidding me? I want as many as this body can squirt out. Oh, and as much as we can financially support as well. I told you about how I was looking after my sister's kids, right? They're absolutely adorable. They're not even my children, but I had so much fun with them. Think about if I had my own child. Think about how much fun I could have then. Oh, we were gonna watch them grow up and see where they go, take themselves in life, see what they want to be. Actually, you know what? I think we should stop now. I'm starting to get ahead of myself. First things first, we gotta get married. And in order to do that, we need to probably organize everything.
You have a good point there. There is so much that we need to do. We have to find a venue, we have to send out invitations, we have to think about the type of theme that we want. It is going to be a lot of work from this point on top of actual work too.
Well, you know what? I think that's a good sign that we should just get to it. Here's to our happy marriage from this point on.
Hey babe, how's things at home? I'm sorry, I've got some really bad news. I know we had a movie night tonight, but the bank wants me to stay back later today. We had a lot of issues with a couple of the new employees. I need to sort it out. My manager is currently sick, so they can't do it themselves. It is not something they want to do, but they've asked me to stay back and fix everything. I know our time together is very limited, and we've made a promise that movie night will always be movie night no matter what. At the same time, this is a really good opportunity for people to get a good impression of me. We're also getting paid extra for this, so I hope you don't mind.
Hey, Harry, you know what? That's fine. Sometimes work comes before family, right? It's just really good to see you doing well out there. I mean, you just got that pay raise, didn't you? It looks like you're aiming for even more than that.
Yeah, well, I'm quite intent on becoming the manager of this place. That's the type of guy I am, to be honest. I just love aiming for the next thing that's higher. Climbing up the rungs of the ladder, if you will.
That's great. It really is. That's the reason why I married you in the first place. You're a really competent guy, Harry. When it comes to work, you always know what you're doing. Then again, I do wish you were home more, but I understand if this is the way things are. I mean, it's the reason why we can't have a baby in the first place, right?
Oh no, you're still hung up about that one, aren't you? Believe me, I want a baby as much as you do. It is the only thing that I think about. At the same time, I want us to get set up first. I want us to make sure we have everything perfect. The baby is going to come into a world where you and I are already emotionally adjusted. That's the way that my father did it, and I think it's a good way. It is the way that I want to do it too.
It's fine. It's fine. I understand your point of view. I'm just going to accept it. You have a point at the end of the day. It'd be smarter to do something like that. We really shouldn't rush into this.
Hey, look, I promise you things are gonna be great. I've got a plan for all of this. If we just stick to it, we're gonna come out fine and happy. So just believe me, okay?
No worries, honey. I do. Anyway, there's something really serious I need to talk to you about. It relates to my family.
Oh, wow, your family? We never really talk about them, do we?
Of course we don't. We never talk about them because you always seem turned off by the conversation. There's something about my dad that you really despise, isn't there?
It's not that I despise him or anything. It's just that, I'm not sure. I can only enjoy him in small doses. As you said, he has some sort of upbringing or experience where his behavior is quite different from the rest of us.
What do you mean the rest of us? You're trying to say he's not normal or something?
I'm sorry, look, I should have chose my words more wisely. He just has a different way of expressing himself that's very unique and something that I'm not familiar with. That's not to say that I despise him or anything. Be careful with the type of language that you use. You don't want to end up making me inadvertently hate your dad, right?
No, of course not. I'd hate for that to happen, especially with what's going to happen from this point on.
Wait, hold on a second. What do you mean by that? From this point on? There's something wrong with your dad?
Well, look, here's the thing. I've got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is that I think there's a really good opportunity for you and my dad to get along. At the moment, you guys have a really neutral and stale relationship with each other. It's not bad per se, but don't you think it'd be a good idea if you got along with my family and spent time with him?
No, definitely, I agree with you, but you know how things are, right? Work, work, work. That's all on my mind at the moment.
Yeah, I get it already. Well, anyway, that's the good news. There was a really good opportunity for you to actually become super close. The bad news is that he's gonna be living here.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
That's right, my dad's coming to move in here.
Okay, well, this is interesting. As far as I remember, I was the one that has my name on the lease for this house. I get it that you want your dad to move in, but you could have at least talked to me about it first. I don't get a say in this?
Well, hey, come on, Harry. He's family. Should this even be a matter of discussion? Do you really want me to just leave him out there on the street?
Well, I wasn't saying anything like that. But you know what? Just break it down to me. What is going on here? Did something happen to him? Did he get kicked out of home or something?
You're not gonna believe this? I would never think something like this would happen. I mean, those guys have been married for years now. I can't believe my mom would be so selfish.
Your mom? Selfish? I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
I'm talking about the fact that my mom walked out on him.
I'm sorry, what now?
Yeah, I know, right? That's the exact same reaction that I had when I heard about it. I was so surprised when I saw my dad here today. I forgot that I gave him a spare key all those long years ago. I didn't give him the front door key, though. I gave him the key to the back door. I finished work and walked into the house like I always do, and I saw this man hunched over the table just sleeping there. I was about to call the police and say that there was an intruder in my home, but I noticed it was my dad, and he wasn't sleeping. He was sitting there sobbing, crying to himself.
Crying? What happened to him?
It's my mom. After so many years of marriage, she decided that she wanted to betray Dad. She decided that she wanted to leave him. She's gone now. She's never coming back to him.
I'm so sorry, what? This is crazy. She's doing that all of a sudden? Was there any sign of this?
There was nothing. Nothing at all. Then again, to say their marriage was exciting would also be an over-exaggeration. I'll admit that the spark of my parents' marriage hasn't been there for a long time now. To say it was stale would be an overstatement. What I assumed was going on was that those two were getting up there in years. That's what tends to happen in marriages, right? They start to fall off. They start to lose interest in each other. I thought it would become more about trust and companionship than passion. Well, it seems like that wasn't the case at all. The passion part is still really important at that stage in their life.
What are you trying to say? That they lost their fire or something?
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. The flame has been extinguished. My mom lost total and complete interest in my father.
You gotta be kidding me right now. This is crazy. Who would have thought that I'd wake up and this would be the thing that would happen today?
Well, actually, here's the thing. This hasn't happened today at all. My dad's been suffering on his own for a week now.
A whole week? What has he been doing? I'm gonna need you to give me a little bit more context here, Eileen. I have no idea what he's been going through.
Oh my god, okay, just listen to me. Basically, the passion has died out in my parents' marriage. My mom has slowly but surely started to dwindle in her attraction toward my dad. He woke up the other week looking all over the place for her. She was nowhere to be seen. He spent nights at home on his own thinking when she was going to come back. It wasn't until one morning when he finally found a letter. It was in the drawer and it was addressed to him. It was saying that she's gone, she was never going to come back there. She can't handle a guy like my dad. He's too much for her. She left the country with the man that she fell in love with when she was in high school. Apparently, they've gotten in touch with each other. She doesn't want to be with someone like my dad anymore. She wants to be with that guy. Can you believe that all those years of marriage and she's going to just spit it back into his face? I never thought she'd be this selfish. I always knew that my mom had something evil about her. Now I can finally see it.
Wow, this is a really interesting development. This whole time, I had respect for your mom. It seemed like she was someone that really cared about raising you. To think that she would walk out on her family like this just for someone that she met when she was in high school. I have to say, I kind of do feel sorry for your dad.
Are you kidding me right now? You actually like my mom more than my dad? Look, say what you will about my dad and his bad habits, my mom was a way worse parent than him. At least my dad let me do things. He let me be free. He let me explore myself. If I was a kid, he'd let me be a kid. If I was a teenager, he'd let me be a teenager. That was his philosophy about raising me. My mom, on the other hand, ruled the house with an iron fist. She wanted to control me. She wanted to control my dad. She thought that everyone had to be a certain way, and she wasn't happy if we weren't to her liking.
A lot like my parents, to be honest.
Exactly, and look at how you turned out. Sometimes you're just this dull sap that only cares about work.
Hey, weren't you just saying that was the thing that you liked about me the most?
Okay, oh my god, yes, sure it is, Harry, but at the same time, it comes with its drawbacks, doesn't it? Anyway, we've only had encounters with my parents on the rare occasion. You don't really know them too well, but my mom is always putting on this false pretense. You don't want to fall for it, because I'm telling you right now, she is evil on the inside.
Well, I don't know. Is that really the case? Do you really think your mom is evil?
What do you mean by that? You're actually trying to say that my dad's to blame for all of this? You don't see that my mom is some selfish old cow that only cares about herself and some douchebag that she used to flirt around with in high school?
Okay, well, look, this is bad and everything, but friendships and relationships, for that matter, are two-way streets, right? Maybe we should think about your dad and his behavior before we start making judgments about your mom.
Okay, well, this is interesting. You want to assess my dad? Okay, well, let's assess him then. Loving father that lets people be the way they want to be. What else do we have? A caring man that always gives his attention to his wife and daughter. What's another assessment that we can give my father? Oh, how could I forget the most important one of all? The man that picked me up when other people threw me down during the time I was getting bullied in high school. He is the one that was there for me. He was the one that made me feel like I was still a beautiful girl. I'm telling you right now, he was a really good person. And it's just absolutely horrible that my mom would do this to him.
I know, but there are other things that are important in a marriage, right? Like, listen, you even get angry at me for parking the car in a certain way. You want me to back the car in instead of driving it into the garage.
Isn't this obvious though? I want you to make it so that I can drive it out easily. I do the same for you, don't I?
Well, yes, you do. But this is what I'm talking about. These little things mean a lot in a marriage, don't they? Let's take a look at the way your dad behaves. He's got no self-control. Any sort of impulse he has, he just acts upon it. He doesn't feel ashamed of his own behavior in the least. He'll burp and fart wherever he goes. He'll kind of make a joke out of it too. He thinks it's humorous. I swear I feel like I'm talking to an elementary school kid sometimes when I'm with him.
I mean, so what? That's part of his character. I don't see what this has to do with anything.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm feeling a little bit sorry for your mom. I mean, I find it hard hanging out with him for a little bit. And she's had to hang out with that type of behavior every day, right? She's been doing that for her whole life. And not only that, it's only gonna get worse for you if you actually live with the guy, isn't it? I'm sorry to say, but I'm not surprised that she lost attraction for him. It's quite obvious, really.
You know what? I didn't think you would be this cruel. Like, how could you be so cold-hearted, Harry?
What do you mean by cold-hearted? Look, I'm not trying to be cold-hearted or anything. I'm just trying to look at both sides of the story here. I mean, yes, it's sad that your dad is in the position that he's in, but it's important to look at the whole picture and not just focus on how unfortunate it is that his wife left him. Like, think about it. In every relationship, there was something that you could have done to save it, right? Maybe he was taking the relationship for granted or something.
You really don't understand anything at all, do you? That is not what a relationship is about. A relationship is about accepting each other. As much as you strive to be, we can't always be perfect, Harry. Yeah, I'm sure my dad had his faults, but my mom also had her faults. You never saw him complaining about it. He just accepted her for who she is. He never failed in his duty to be a loving husband. He cared about his family. That's all he devoted his whole life to. He was caring for us, and now she's thrown it back in his face. And you're telling me that she's doing this all because he farts around the place from time to time? That's just ridiculous. Is she really going to sacrifice a whole marriage for something like that?
Well, I mean, look, probably not, but that's not what I'm saying, is it? I'm just saying that something was probably happening behind the scenes that we don't know about. I mean, heck, whenever I'm with him, I reach my limit within the first 5 minutes of talking to him. Anything more than that, and I feel like running to the toilet and start puking up whatever I ate that morning.
You know what? You're gonna have to learn how to get used to him because he's gonna be living here now.
Come on, you're seriously not pushing that onto me, are you? Doesn't he have any other friends that he can go to? Any other people that he can be with?
Well, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. At the end of the day, he's asked us. Let's just assume he doesn't have people to go to. How hurt do you think he's gonna be if we just push him away? Imagine if I did that to you. Imagine if I was all you had left and I just said no to you. It's gonna hurt, right?
Okay, fine. Look, you've got a point. I would get hurt by something like that, to be honest. At the same time, I don't know. I'm pretty fearful about what my life is going to be like when I'm actually living in the same house as your dad.
Are you kidding me right now? I mean, I know things are looking really dire and grim because my dad had something horrible happen to him, but I thought you would at least be excited for something like this.
I mean, what exactly is there to be excited for, Eileen? Whenever I talk to your dad, we don't exactly have the same interests, do we? It almost feels as if I'm talking to someone from a different country. There's something about the way we communicate with each other that's just off. It's like we don't have a common understanding of each other. I'm not really sure what to look forward to.
Well, think about it. It's an opportunity for you guys to explore each other. It's an opportunity for you to look past his unpleasant behavior and see something that you actually might like about him. Don't you think that's a good thing?
Well, okay. Well, maybe there's a possibility of something like that happening. But at the same time, we need to ask ourselves, how long is this going to last for? I mean, is he just going to live with us forever?
Of course not. He's not going to be here forever. He just needs some time to get back on his feet. A little bit of time with family, you know. He doesn't want to live in that house anymore. He stopped renting it and he wants to find a new place. A place that doesn't remind him of his old wife. He probably wants to find a partner too. We should wait until that happens.
Wow, are you serious right now? You actually expect him to find a partner at that age and with that type of mannerisms?
Wait, hold on a second. What the hell is that meant to mean?
I don't know. I'm just saying that it's not going to be easy when he's on a date, and he keeps burping every 2 minutes. I don't think a girl is going to sit with him even if she was paid for it.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to draw the line in the sand right now. It's that type of talk that needs to stop before he comes here.
What do you mean that type of talk?
I am talking about the way you're degrading him. Things aren't going to be working out if you have this preconceived idea that he's just some old disgusting old fart. I want you to start seeing the better sides of him. Can you promise me to do that?
Look, I don't know, Eileen. You and I are still trying to get ourselves set up. I feel like this is a major roadblock. I want to at least put a deadline on him. How about we give him a couple of months? That should be enough time to pick himself up and get back out there.
Actually, no, that's not gonna do at all. I am not having this discussion with you, Harry. He stays here for as long as he needs to. He is family at the end of the day. If you were in the type of position he was in, I wouldn't turn you away like that. Think about it. If your dad had to do something like this, you wouldn't turn him away, right? You'd let him stay here for as long as he wants.
I probably would, but at the same time, he doesn't behave the way that your dad does. At least he would conduct himself around the house properly. I'm really worried about how your dad lives his life. I mean, if he's that dirty in public, what is he going to do at home? Is he at least going to clean up after himself?
Well, I'm not really sure about that. As far as I know, Mom's been the one that's been taking care of all that stuff in the late years of marriage. He's probably going to expect all that to be done for him.
Well, isn't this just perfect? We got one of the most gritty, sloppy men that ever walked this planet, and he's going to be living in our house. He's going to make all this mess, and he doesn't even have the capacity to clean it up for himself. You were talking about how I should be excited for this, Eileen? Oh boy, I'm excited for that. Can't wait to see what disaster he's going to leave me when I come home from work.
Hey, look, enough of that. I told you to stop talking about him that way.
No, you know what? I'm gonna talk about this any way I want. If I'm being honest, I'm not happy about this. No one discussed this with me. No one got my opinion on what I wanted to do. You just decided to bring him here yourself. And you know what? Fine, you can do that. But I always have the free will to choose how I want to react around him. I am telling you right now, Eileen, if he doesn't pull himself in line, this isn't going to be a good experience for anyone involved.
What are you talking about? If you know it's not going to be a good experience, why don't you just do the proper thing and just approach him with care and kindness? Be accepting of him.
And what? Let him walk all over us? I'm not going to have it that way. If he's going to live under my roof, he's going to live under my rules. I'm not even asking him to do much. I just want him to clean up after himself.
Okay, fine. I understand that, but you don't have to be so mean about it.
You can call it mean, or you can call it being assertive. Anyway, you know what? Thank you for letting me know. I'm going to get back to the tasks that I have at work. You know what? I'm probably going to stay overtime because I really don't want to come home to whatever state your dad is in. Hey, how you doing, Harry? How's the breadwinner of the family feeling today? I hope you're hanging in there at work. I can tell you're working very hard. Anyway, I don't want to bother you too much, but I've been having this issue with the toaster. I must have put about 12 different slices of bread in there, and they've all come out pitch black. I tried to eat the first one, but it was just unbearable. It felt like I might as well go outside and lick the tires of the car, to be honest. So, I'm just wondering if you can tell me how this thing works. I don't care how hungry you are, I don't think this stuff is worthy of human consumption. Okay, Mitchell, is this some sort of joke or something? I really don't have time for this stuff. This is the 12th time you've asked me this week. Surely you must be trying to mess with me or something. Okay, look, I think I remember you telling me something about that. You were telling me how to work this thing, right? I'm sorry, I just keep forgetting. It's really hard for my mind to keep this stuff in. You know what my age is getting to, right? Nothing really sticks the same like it used to. Anyway, have a little bit of mercy for an old man. Okay, you know what, Mitchell? How much time do you have at the moment? Because there's something I want to talk to you about. I'm going to abandon my duties here at work just to have this conversation with you. That's how important I think it is. Okay, well, thank you for taking the time out for me, son. I'd love to hear what's been on your mind. Hey, you know what? If it's about us spending more time together, then I'm totally open to it. I'm not sure what your generation enjoys doing, but I would love to go fishing at some point. What do you think about that? That'd be a good way for us to get to know each other. Mitchell, I don't want to talk about us bonding yet. There are some serious issues that need to be addressed. I don't think there's any chance of us getting along with each other unless we do. Oh, okay. Well, it's been a couple of weeks since I've been here, so I guess it's good that we have this talk. Obviously, there's going to be concerns that pop up. Well, here's the thing, Mitchell. I know that you're my father-in-law and everything, but I'm finding it really hard having you in my house. Everything from the way that you carry yourself to the smell of the home is something that I can't bear. I'm sorry? What did you just say? Are you talking about the smell? Actually, I don't want to take this too seriously or anything, but I want you to understand to what extent this turns me off. I find the smell absolutely abominable. Oh, wow. Is it that bad? Oh, I'm so sorry. I really don't mean to come off that way. Well, look, your intentions don't really mean much to me, Mitchell. I think that we've had this conversation before. I talked to you about having a shower, and the stench still remains. So, what's going on? Okay, look, I'm gonna have to be honest with you about a couple of things. Harry, the truth of the matter is, I'm still working, even in my old age. You're still working? That's right. I'm a very different type of guy. I'm not doing what people would exactly call normal. I work in cleaning septic tanks. I'm sorry? You do what now? That's right. That's what I do. I do it on a daily basis. Okay, and how long have you been doing this? Well, that's gonna use a couple of brain cells. How long have I been doing it now? I would say I've been doing it for over half of my life. I mean, this is my passion. This is what I wake up for in the morning. Are you kidding me right now? This is the type of thing that you're passionate about? Getting into a septic tank and cleaning out all the filth from it? Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? I've been doing this my whole life. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. What a weird question to ask me. I'm sorry, I was just really taken aback by that. I had no idea that this was something that you actually enjoyed. This is the first time that I've met someone like you. So you actually enjoy getting down and dirty there, do you? More than anything. It's way more exciting and interesting than just sitting at some register at a supermarket. I don't have to deal with any noise or arrogant customers like most people do. Well, I'm not going to deny that, but I'm sorry. I need to get something straight with you right now. Mitchell, you're saying that cleaning up another person's crap is an even better job than that? Even if you get super dirty and stinky? For sure it is. How many people get to do what I do? It's quite a unique job. I'm telling you, whenever you meet someone new, they always show some sort of interest in it. Not only that, but the money in it. Wow. If there ever was a job out there that can be described as something as hard and decent work that pays well, then it's gotta be cleaning those septic tanks. Okay, I'm not really sure how to respond to all of this, but I guess we can just finish off by agreeing to disagree. That kind of explains the stench that's been permeating throughout the whole house. Are you trying to tell me that you don't take a shower after that thing? Well, in all honesty, I'm not that type of person. It's just a little bit of Mother Nature at the end of the day, right? It can't do you that much harm. Are you serious right now? So you're actually walking around with crap covered all over your body? I think I want to throw up. You've actually been sitting on my couch and everything. Oh, hey, come on, son. Settle down. I have my own opinions on the matter, but I know how other people feel about it. I know they're not going to accept my way of thinking. I've done the necessary thing, and I've cleaned myself up after every tank that I clean. I give the clothes a good wash, too. Unfortunately, it's not enough. Doesn't matter how much you try and clean that stuff off, it just kind of lingers there, you know? Especially when you've been doing it as long as I have. Right, and you've been doing this for over half your life? I have to say, Mitchell, you're a different type of beast, and I'm not really sure if I'm complimenting you on that. I mean, you've done this for your whole life, and you don't feel tired of it, especially now that you're getting up there in years? No way. You see, there's something wrong with a lot of people my age. They don't have that one thing that they want to wake up in the morning for. They don't really have that one thing that excites them. It's people like that that really get down in the dumps when tragedy happens. They should literally get down in the dumps like me. Jokes aside, take a look at me. I mean, sure, I was really sad when my wife up and left. I gotta say, I spent my whole life with her. It really did a blow to my heart when she left like that. We have a family and everything. But you know what? I still have something I'm passionate about. I just can't wait to get in there and start cleaning. Because of that, I'm able to forget about any pain or sadness I have in my life. You know what, Harry? I'd be taking notes if I were you about this. If you want to look at a good example of how you should live in your older life, then take a look at me. You're not going to find many role models that are better than me. Well, I'm going to take everything you say with a grain of salt. As it happens, I'm really proud of my father. He's a very successful man, and he's living life quite cruisily at the moment. I don't want to put down your philosophy of life. I'm going to accept it as somewhat illuminating. I've definitely never met someone with this type of opinion before, but that being said, it's good to have some idea of what type of work you're doing. Speaking honestly, Mitchell, I'm not sure if this is a good enough excuse. I mean, it's great that you're passionate about your work and everything, but it's kind of affecting me and my wife at home. Are you sure about that? She's never complained to me about the smell. Yeah, well, that's the funniest thing. I wonder why. I guess her nose has just gotten used to it or something. I'm kind of jealous of her, to be honest, because I have to walk through the whole house holding my nose in. I can only find solace when I get into my room and I'm away from you. Even then, I can feel like the smell is seeping in bit by bit. Are you sure that you're actually washing yourself properly? Of course I am. You know what? I can see how much this is affecting you, Harry, and I really care about our relationship. How about I just have a second shower when I get home and I do my own washing as well? You know what? I think that would be a really great start. Okay, well, cool. That's settled then. Looks like our trouble is out of the way. We can start having a fantastic relationship with each other. I'll get started on doing those types of things. And you can get started on planning the fishing trip. I know how busy you are, but I feel like this is something that you should organize. Give me a plan that I can get excited for. Whoa. Hang on a minute. We're not done just yet. This extends more than just a little bit of smell throughout the house. Are you serious right now? There's actually more stuff that you need to complain about? There is, to be honest. And I really would like you to listen to me because this is something that's been really bothering me. It's really intrusive of my everyday life. Wow, you really take all of this stuff to heart, don't you? Okay, well, what else is on your mind then? Here's the thing, Mitchell. I can tell that you're a really good person. I think your intentions mean well, but your behavior is a little bit too out there for me. I am not used to it. What do you mean by that? I'm talking about the way that you carry yourself, the way you behave. I mean, I was so surprised the first day that you started living here. My wife was telling me that you were really depressed and you needed someone to talk to. It was almost as if nothing could make you happy again. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna lie. I really did feel like that for a time. I was in a marriage that I was very invested in. And you know what? That's very understandable. I sympathize with your pain. At the same time, that first day you were here was totally different to what I was expecting. I mean, you really did settle in quite quickly, didn't you? What do you mean by that? You say it like it's a bad thing. Well, I just think that there's a certain way that you should behave yourself when you're playing the guest at someone else's house. Did I do something to offend you or something, Harry? Did I step on your toes? Well, let me ask you this, Mitchell. If I came to your house and I started rummaging through the fridge and grabbing all the chocolates and sweets that I could, you would think it was kind of rude, right? I don't really have the right to take what's yours. Well, I don't know about that. You are my son-in-law after all. I care about you. If you're gonna have a good time, then I'd like you to eat everything in the fridge. Okay, well, I'm glad that you're such a nice person, but the thing is, I kind of found it very disrespectful when the first thing I saw you do is clear out the whole fridge. You do realize that the food that I had in there wasn't to be eaten in one consumption. I was gonna eat that throughout the whole week. I think I saw you go to the fridge once, and everything that I wanted to eat that week was gone within a matter of 5 minutes. Yeah, well, what can I say? They don't call me the Iron Stomach for nothing. You could put a damn cow in front of me and I'd be able to eat that thing. That's not the point that I'm trying to make here. I'm trying to say that you should at least ask me first for it. Honestly, you're the type of guy with no boundaries. It's not just the food. It's not just how much you eat here. It's the way you even walk around the house. I mean, sometimes I've just seen you walking around in your underwear. Well, yeah, I don't see what the issue is with that. I mean, it's hot weather, isn't it? Do you want me to just sit there melting in my shirt and pants all day? Okay, well, everyone's hot here, but you don't see us walking around like that. Well, you don't have the sexy little dad bod that I do you? Mitchell, I'm not in the mood for jokes. I'm trying to have a serious conversation here with you. You want us to get along, right? Well, until we fix these types of things, I don't think that we are ever going to be friends. Oh, come on, Harry. Don't say that to me. Do you really think I'm doing all of this stuff on purpose? I can't really help it at the end of the day. What do you mean you can't help it? You're trying to tell me that you've been this selfish guy that doesn't respect other people's boundaries your whole life? Well, hey, when you put it like that, it's a little bit harsh, don't you think? But I guess yes is the answer. Like, here's the thing. I've been trying to stop this for a while now. You're not the only one that's complained about it. Even my own daughter has complained about it. Are you serious? She seems to accept anything that you do. She treats you like some king that we should all bow down to. Even though you act like you're 6 years old, still burping around the place like it's still funny. Okay, look, that's just part of my personality. I'm being serious when I say I can't stop it. You don't think I ran into the same issue with her? There's a reason she accepts everything now. She just kinda has to. This is the type of dad that she has. I remember all those times she used to get angry at me. Man, those are some good memories. I find that really hard to believe. What exactly did she get angry at you for? Because from my point of view, it seems like the opposite. Well, look, now that she's matured and she's had to put up with me her whole life, she doesn't really have a choice. But back when she was in high school, this was a real issue. Okay, I can kind of see where this is going. She probably had some boyfriends over or something, right? You embarrassed her in front of them. Yeah, you catch on really quick. You're a really smart guy, aren't you, Harry? That's exactly what happened. You see, there's always a part of Eileen that's loved her father. I mean, I'm her dad at the end of the day. She spent her whole life with me. I may be the grotesque and ill-mannered guy that I am, but I raised her with love. I've always been the biggest supporter in her life, and she'll even tell you about it herself. No, you don't need to tell me that a second time. Exactly. That's a really good daughter right there. It's so good that she's finally come full circle. Back when she was a teenager, things weren't as easy as they are now. Whenever she had a boyfriend over, she wanted me to be on my best behavior. She wanted me to stop cracking jokes. She wanted me to stop burping or to stop farting. She wanted me to eat better at the dinner table. Pretty much every little facet about my personality, she wanted me to change. Sounds a lot like me. That's exactly what I want you to do. Yeah, well, you don't think I haven't tried before? It's for my little girl, right? If it's gonna make her happier, then that's exactly what I want to do. Unfortunately, I just can't control myself. I mean, I don't know what it is about me. I think I'm a really good person, but this is one of my downsides. I just can't help being the type of man that I am. Everything from the way that I eat to the way that I talk and the way that I behave is all out of my control. It's probably from hanging around grotesque men my whole life. This is what I consider normal. You understand where I'm coming from, right? Actually, no, Mitchell, I don't. I honestly don't. I know you're trying to make it out like you don't have any control over this, but it's just so ridiculous to me. You're saying that you really can't help keeping your burps to yourself? Don't try and sit there and act like it's this hard thing for you to do. I am not gonna fall for it. But I'm being serious with you right now. It's honestly hard for me. I just told you, right? I was trying to do this for my daughter. She had no choice but to accept me. I find this really hard to believe. I still feel you're playing some sort of game with me. Anyway, you know what? I don't think I have time to keep talking to you about this all day. I gotta get back to work. I've noticed the house is getting a lot more messy since you've moved in. There's junk food littered all over the place. There's dirt all over the house. I think you actually bring your muddy shoes in. Do you think you could do something to make the place a little bit more homely? Oh, wow. You actually want me to clean, right? I'm not really used to doing that type of thing. My wife usually handled that stuff, but I'll do my best. I don't want you and I to have bad blood between each other. I think you're a really good man, Harry. Yeah, well, if you have some sort of respect for me, then you'll clean the place up, won't you? Hey, how are you doing, Tiger? It's been a while since I've contacted you. I hope my son hasn't been slacking off. You're an adult now, so I don't need to check up on you every month like I used to. I'm putting my faith full in you that you're doing the right thing. So let's hear it. What's been going on in your life recently? Hey, Dad, thanks for checking up on me. It's really good to hear from you. Don't worry, I've been doing the right thing, and you're gonna be proud of me. Do you remember when I was telling you that I was working in a bank? I sure do. You were very excited about that position. I told you that you should keep your head on straight, though. That's not the type of job where you can be clumsy. I mean, you're dealing with other people's money at the end of the day. I know, and I took your lessons to heart. Well, here's the thing. I'm actually being considered for a management position. I haven't even worked here for that long. Are you kidding me? That's exactly what I expected of you. It's good to see that you're rising up higher in life. How's everything at work? Are you getting along with the people? Of course I am. There's a reason why I'm being considered for this position in the first place. My people skills. Everyone compliments me on the way that I present myself and the way that I talk to people. It's one of my strongest suits. Yeah, well, who'd you have that to thank for? You always used to have this bitter attitude towards me and your mother, but we were training you to be a successful and likable adult, right? We haven't heard your words of gratitude yet. Yeah, well, maybe I'm grateful for it, or maybe I'm not. If I ever do say thank you, I want it to be when I'm actually successful. I don't want to stop at just being a manager. I want to see what else is out there for me. Oh, it's good to see that you still have that fire in you. Keep that thing burning bright, son. Just remember that I'm expecting great things from you. Anyway, you know what? Enough about work. I kind of had a feeling that things were going well for you in that area anyway. Let's talk about something that's really important. Let's talk about you and your wife. Wow, do we really have to bring that up, Dad? Of course we do. You see, I've noticed something about you, son. You've gotten sneaky over the years. You're always going to talk about the things that are going well. You're always going to give me this image that everything's perfect and that you don't want me to meddle. The truth of the matter is, I know when you're lying, when you're trying to over-exaggerate your success, like you're doing right now. That means that you're hiding something. And I'm going to take a good shot at the fact that maybe things aren't going well at home. So, let me ask again. How is it going with you and the wife? Look, Dad, I don't know. Things are kind of degrading in that area, if I'm being honest. I don't really want to talk about it. I want to talk about it with someone who's actually going to help me. Well, who's going to help you more than a man like me? You know how long I've been in a marriage, right? Do you think your mother and I just had a smooth sailing experience the whole time? Of course not. We had so many issues along the way, and we had to overcome them together. Thankfully, I was the one who put in the time to figure out what the issue was, and I attacked it. So, let's do the same with you. I don't know. The situation I'm in at the moment is really quite unique. I'm not sure if you can relate to it. Well, I want to hear about it anyway. So tell me, what is going on? It's got something to do with the bedroom, right? It's probably got something to do with the fact that you and Eileen aren't getting it on anymore. Oh wow, Jesus, Dad, please, come on! Are you seriously gonna jump to that conclusion? It's not like we're 40 or something. Hey, look, that type of issue has no relation to age. It has to do with attraction to your partner. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that was happening, especially with the amount of time that you spend at work. Hang on a minute, what are you talking about right now? How do you know how much time I spend at work? Well, take a look at the way you speak, son. You're a dead giveaway. It's all you talk about. It's like it's the only happiness in your life. I never hear you talk about the amazing things that you do with your girl. You know, that type of stuff is important too, right? Okay, Dad, fine. You have a point. I'll admit, I prioritize work a little bit too much, but at the same time, how did you find out about this? What other way am I meant to find out about this? I've been talking to your wife. You've been talking to Eileen behind my back? Well, hey, don't talk about it as if I'm after her. I'm a married man after all. I'm not gonna go off chasing the skirts of a girl that my son is already married to. My naughty boy days are over. Geez, Dad, don't start there. I don't need to listen to it for the millionth time. Are you sure about that? You should still listen to my stories while you have the chance. I'm probably gonna forget about them any time now. But look, I've been talking to Eileen and she's been raising a lot of concerns with me. She's been raising concerns that you don't spend any time with her. Apparently, you used to have some sort of movie night, and you don't do that type of thing with her anymore. She's left to sit with her dad, wondering where her husband is all the time. What do you mean that she's wondering where I am? Doesn't she realize that I'm out there working? I don't know if you know this, but I've just started a second job doing some freelancing online. I'm earning a little bit of extra money editing people's reports. I've been proofreading their work and whatnot. Okay, so what you're telling me is that you would rather earn some chump change than actually spend time with your wife? How's that meant to make her feel? If she knew this, how do you think that she would react to it? Well, she already knows about it, and she's quite understanding, actually. Okay, maybe on the outside, but think about how she's feeling on the inside. You need to spend more time with that girl. You're gonna lose her, trust me. And you know what? Let's not stop there. Let's talk about this little situation between you and her dad. Oh my god, has she actually talked to you about that? Oh, I can't believe it. She's definitely over-exaggerating things. You have to hear my side of the story. I've heard that this man has been approaching you very kindly. Apparently, he speaks with you in a very friendly manner. He even goes out of his way to make you breakfast. Why are you giving this man the cold shoulder? Don't you realize that he is your father-in-law? Look, Dad, I know, I get it. I should be getting along with him. It's just that he really disgusts me on a very primal level. What is that even supposed to mean? You wouldn't understand unless you're here. I mean, let's face it, look at the household that you raised me in. You made sure that manners were the first thing that we respected, from the way that we ate to the way that we behaved ourselves. This guy is completely vile. You have to be in the same house as him to understand. He leaves all of his junk everywhere. He doesn't have any care for the people around him. He doesn't even try to clean up after himself. He is absolutely horrible to be around. I understand that he's trying to make some good advances towards me, but all I'm asking him to do is change something fundamentally about his behavior. I don't care about all the nice things that he's doing. I just want him to be doing the right thing. Well, it sounds like you're being very unfair about this. I've actually met the man myself. I have a very good idea of who he is. Okay, so you've actually met him, Dad. So you know what I'm talking about, right? Don't you feel like he's a really uncultured person? I can tell that he is a very good person, and you've clearly misunderstood what I was trying to teach you your whole life. I wasn't teaching you to be well-mannered so that you could look down on people. I was teaching you to be that way so that you could be the best person that you can be. I'm not gonna sit here and say that this man is perfect. At the same time, you don't really know what type of life this man has had. You don't know why he is the way that he is right now. I think a little bit of sympathy and curiosity about who he is would go a long way. I know, Dad, I know. But come on, are you serious right now? The guy walks around the house barely wearing any clothes. Whenever we go out together, he doesn't wear shoes. He says that he wants to get in touch with nature. He doesn't think our feet are designed to be wearing a shoe. Well, you know what? Maybe he's wrong, or maybe he's right about that. Who knows? I don't want you to be looking down on him for it. So let me ask you this. You love Eileen, right? Of course I do. She's the love of my life. Well, that's good. It's good that you love her. If that's the case, you have to accept her father. There's something important that you need to understand. Not everyone is as lucky as you are. He wasn't blessed to be raised in a household like I gave you. So I suggest you keep that in mind the next time you're talking to him. Okay, Dad, fine. I get it. I get what you're trying to tell me. Maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh on him. I'll try and be a bit more understanding. That's good, and while you're at it, you can spend a bit more time with your wife. God knows if you don't start doing it, someone else is going to.
Harry? Harry? Oh my god, Harry, I'm so sorry. I only just found out. Lately, I've barely seen you. You never come home, and when you do, I don't get a chance to talk to you. At first, I thought it was just because you were working. I know how much you want to earn money for this family, how much you want to get our family started. Having children is so important to you. I thought work was what you were spending your time on. Then I started to get curious. Maybe you were actually seeing someone behind my back? I was genuinely worried. It wasn't until your father told me what happened. It's true, isn't it? Your grandma passed away, hasn't she?
Wow, so you actually know about that? I was hoping that you wouldn't find that out for a while. But yes, that's right. My grandma's gone.
Oh wow, Harry. I can't tell you how sorry I am to hear that. I know how much she meant to you in your life. She was the one that you would stay with on the weekends, right? She was your sanctuary away from your dad?
That's right. She was. She was a big part of my life. I have a lot of happy memories with her. In fact, a lot of my dreams kind of revolved around the memory of her. My dad would always talk about the amazing family that she created. I mean, she had so many children. Everyone loved her, even her grandchildren. I thought that she was going to live to be 100. I didn't think that she was actually going to pass away this quickly. I honestly feel like I'm in some bad nightmare right now. I never thought that this would happen.
Okay, well look, I understand how you feel. I wish you had just told me about this though. Do you know how worried I've been? I've been sitting here at home thinking something happened to you. Your behavior has been so strange lately.
I know, it's just... I need some time alone. It's one of those things.
Could you at least tell me what's going on? Why wouldn't you do something like that?
The thing is, Eileen, if I told you, you would get even more worried about me. And then you would invest more time with me. I think the only way I'm going to get over this is if I keep working. You understand what I mean, right? I just want to keep my mind preoccupied with something else.
I can't believe it. You really have a stubborn head, don't you? You know, sometimes talking about the way you feel can help as well. But anyway, you know what? You're a guy and you have your guy way of sorting out your own emotions. I'm just gonna leave you alone. But hey, just remember that I'm always here for a chat, okay? I know things are rough between you and my dad, and the household has been in disarray, but you always have me in the end. Never forget that.
Hey, son, how are you doing? It's been a while since I told you the news about your grandma. I've got a date for the funeral. I'll send you the details at some point. It's really unfortunate that that had to happen. Hey, Dad, you know what? It's alright. I'm starting to get over it a little bit. I have a way that I'm keeping my mind off of things. I'm just gonna keep doing that. I don't want you to be worrying about me. Well, that's great, son. It's good that everyone has a way to cope with these types of things. Some people like to talk about it. Some people just want to keep it on the inside. I guess you're the type that wants to work it away. I'm not going to say what is the right thing to do, but I just want you to do whatever works for you. Thanks, Dad. I really appreciate that. You know that no matter what, I will always love you, right? I don't care what happens to you in this world. I don't care even if you fail. You're still my son, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the man that you're trying to become. Never forget that. Wow, okay, well, I won't. I know that Grandma's died and everything, Dad, but you're being very serious right now. I've never really seen you be this way. You must have really cared about her as well. Well, of course I did. She's my mother at the end of the day. But there's something else playing on my mind, something that I've been meaning to tell you about. I've got some bad news about your mother and me. Oh no, please don't, Dad. I don't want to hear this. I can't. It's just bad news after bad news. I don't think that I can take it. Well, look, sometimes in life we have to know things even if we don't want to know them. The fact of the matter is that something bad has happened. We can't just run away from it. Challenges pop up in life. It doesn't matter how stable we've been. When these challenges arise, the people that can learn how to deal with them and move on are the ones that better themselves. The ones that can't suffer and start walking down a dark path. What are you trying to tell me right now? Just tell me what is going on. Look, all I'm trying to do is prepare you for what's about to happen. I need you to have a strong mentality. You're a good man and you're doing everything right. I couldn't be any more proud of you. I want you to continue doing these great things with or without your parents. Wait, what are you trying to say right now? What do you mean without you guys? Are you trying to tell me that you guys are going to... You're passing away just like Grandma, aren't you? You're leaving me in this world to be on my own. I'm not saying that, son. It's not like we're gonna pass away tomorrow, but something big has happened to us. Some big changes, that is. Well, if I'm being honest, I was actually hiding it from you. Are you kidding me right now? First you hide the fact that you've been talking to my wife, and now you've been hiding something serious about you and Mom? Just when does it end? I'm only doing what I'm doing because I care about you. I'm not like your grandmother. I wasn't able to have a massive family like her. She's had all sorts of sons and daughters, people that she can look at, people that she can be proud of. All I've got is you. You're my only legacy, son. I don't doubt you for a second, but I care about you a lot. Come on, Dad. Stop this. Stop putting me on pins and needles. I just want you to spit it out already. What's going on? Are you and Mom dying? Yes or no? Well, how can I best answer that question? Yes and no. Everyone's dying a little bit, right? Every minute of the day is another step closer towards the other side. But let me talk about your mother. Between the two of us, she's the more important one. There has been a persisting issue with her recently. When was the last time that you've seen her? Oh, wow, please don't ask me that, Dad. I don't want to realize how long it's been. I think it must be years now. I know you guys have been inviting me over. I know that you've wanted to spend time with me, but I've just been so busy with work. You have no idea. We have a good idea what's going on with you and work. We have too much of an idea. I don't need you to just sit there and try to justify yourself anymore. Well, here's the thing. It was kind of for the better that you haven't been seeing us. I didn't want you to see the degradation of your mother. What do you mean, the degradation of my mom? What is going on right now? I want you to spit it out right now. Your mother has dementia, Harry. She's had it for a very long time. What do you mean? That can't be true. She's been working in that shelter, right? If she had dementia, she wouldn't be working in a place like that. She needs to have her wits about her. That's where all of this started, actually. She was at that shelter and she accidentally wandered into someone else's restaurant. She started doing the same thing that she does at that shelter, not realizing where she was. It was completely bizarre. She really scared a lot of people. Are you kidding me? She's already reached that stage already? I can't believe it. It's only been a couple of years, but it's already degraded this fast? It's been progressing quite rapidly. Day by day it gets worse. It was very simple and cute at first. I didn't even think much of it. She would walk into the living room and ask me if I grabbed today's newspaper. I'd give her an answer, and then 5 minutes later, she would ask me the same question. That's how it all started. But it's very different now. It's progressed to the point where she asks me the same question about 10 times a day. She honestly has no idea what is going on. Oh my God, Dad, I can't believe this. How could this happen? I mean, Mom, why? Why did this happen to you? You were the sweetest person. You wanted to help so many people. You were in that shelter, right? Hey, sometimes this thing happens to the best of us. It is what it is. You can't change what life throws at you. But I'm not gonna lie, it's getting very serious. There are a lot of times when she's calling out for you. She walks into the room and she tells me to get you to do your homework. She still has this image of you like you're in high school. Her mind is all scattered and over the place. I can't believe you would do this to me, Dad. You should have told me that this is how she is. Well, how could I? Look at how focused you are on work. Look at how well you're doing. Why would I try and interrupt that? At the end of the day, what's happening to your mom is something that we can't help. We can sit here and worry about her all day, and it's not going to do anything. We just have to accept her for what it is. I didn't think that you were ready for this yet. Are you kidding me? You're treating me like I'm some kid again. I am more than that. Maybe you are. Maybe you aren't. I didn't want to take that risk. Okay, well, that's Mom. What's going on with you then? Well, I'm not sure you're gonna take this one easily, Harry, but your pops has cancer. I'm sorry, what did you say? I know, it's a shocker, isn't it? I've lived a healthy life, I have, and I still get hit by this thing. I've already had a talk with the doctors, and they say that I have a very low survival rate. I'm probably not gonna make it through this thing. Oh my god, Dad, why? Why does this happen now? What's gonna be next? Am I gonna lose my wife? Am I gonna be alone for the rest of my life? What did I do to deserve all of this? You didn't do anything. This is just life playing its little game with you. It's just the way it is. Don't think anything of it. What can I do, Dad? What can I do to save you? I can't have both of you leave my life. I still haven't created my big family. We still haven't made you proud yet. You listen here. I know a lot of families. I have a lot of friends. I talk to them and all they do is complain. They complain that their son became a certain way. They complain that their daughter stopped contacting them. In all honesty, I am really lucky to have a son like you. I don't know if I could be any more proud of you than I am now, family or without family. Come on, Dad, that's not good enough. You know everything I'm working towards has been for your approval. You have to give me a chance to prove myself. Please don't die. Well, unless you have $100,000 to pay for surgery, then there's not a lot that you can do. It's better to accept what's to come and move on.
Harry, babe, I know you're in that room. I know you're feeling a lot of pain right now. I get it. You don't want to come out and talk to me. You don't want to talk to anyone. But at least talk to me. You haven't gone to work in days. I'm really worried about you. What's going on?
Look, Eileen, it's nothing. There's nothing that you can do about it. I just want to be alone with my thoughts.
That's not good enough for me. Talk to me. Don't shut me out. I'm the only one that's here for you.
What's the point of me talking about it? Talking about it isn't gonna fix the issue. Things are set on the path that they are. I lost my grandma, and I'm gonna lose my parents now. You were with me when we saw my mom, right? She's like a totally different person now. She's all over the place. I barely recognize her. She barely even recognizes me. My dad's had this cancer thing for a while too. All the medicine they've got him on is really taking its toll. He's been puking up in the toilet every 10 minutes or so. I'm losing the people that are important to me, and I can't do anything about it. Just give me some time to accept this reality. That's all I need.
That's it. I've had enough. I want you to get out of there right now. I'm sick of you sitting in there sulking, feeling sorry for yourself.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, you heard me. I want you to get out and start being a man. What happened to that guy that's working night and day just to provide for our family, just so that he can have his own child one day? Is that the same person that's crying in this room thinking that he can't do anything about this? Well, I'm sick of it.
What are you trying to tell me right now? Eileen, what is there that we can do? Do we have $100,000 for surgery? Because if you don't, we just need to accept the way things are.
You don't even want to try. You think it's better to just sit there wallowing in your own sadness. It's pathetic. Well, you know what? Fine. I might just take my $100,000 and put it somewhere else. You don't deserve it.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
That's right. I've got the money for this thing. I've got a chance to save your father, and you know what? I've got a good plan for your mom, too.
Hold on a second. What do you mean you have $100,000? Where did you get that money?
Look, your questions are redundant. That doesn't matter right now. But what I need you to do is get some sleep. I want you to get out of that room and come back to bed with me. I don't even want you to talk to me.
Okay, but I need to explain what's going on right now. This is all too fast.
I don't need to do anything. The only person that needs to do something is you. You need to get to bed so that you can catch that plane in the morning. You and your dad are flying out of state. You're going to one of the top doctors to get treatment.
Wait, what did you just say?
That's right. I've already paid for the ticket. Now get to bed before I start to get really mad.
Hey, how are you doing, Harry? I heard about everything that's been going on with your father. I'm really sorry. It must be tough on you, but hey, you know what? I'm gonna cheer you up. I'm out at the moment, so I didn't catch you when you came in. I did get a message from your wife, though. I want to celebrate you coming back and your father getting treatment. It went pretty well, right? I'm so happy for you. I'm currently at the shop and I'm buying some ingredients to make some good old fried wings. You gotta taste it. It's one of my best recipes. Just shut up, Mitchell. Shut your damn mouth. I don't want to listen to you. Stop pretending to be nice all the time. I don't want to eat your stupid food anymore. Don't you realize that crap is giving me diarrhea? I've had enough of it, and I've had enough of the way that you've been behaving around my house. Hey, what is going on right now? You're still not hung up on what's been going on, are you? I thought we squashed the beef. We definitely haven't. There hasn't been any improvement in your behavior, Mitchell. Not only that, but it's just gotten worse. I mean, I could not believe something like this has happened. I was only gone for a week. How did things turn out this way? Well, hey, I don't really know what you're talking about right now. If you've got some issues, just let it out. Let me know what it is. It's you, Mitchell. It's all you. It's you and that stupid job of yours. How could you be proud of a position like that? I was trying to be nice to you before, and I didn't say anything about it. But now I've reached my limit. Your job is an absolute embarrassment. You should feel ashamed of yourself. I can't believe that you actually did this, sabotaging me intentionally this way. What are you talking about? I haven't done anything out of the ordinary. You've absolutely destroyed all my clothes. What have you been doing this whole week, Mitchell? You've been washing clothes, haven't you? Well, yeah, I was trying to do that as a good gesture. You kept telling me about how much you wanted me to clean, right? That's exactly what I was doing. Okay, but did you even think about what you were doing before you did it? Do I have to explain to you what has happened? You mixed your clothes that are stained with crap on them, and you actually put them with my clothes? What do you think is going to happen to my clothes? They smell like someone took water out of the sewer and put it into the washing machine. How could you do this to me? Don't you realize I have to go to work? I can't get the smell out. I've been trying to sit here all night scrubbing it, washing it. Nothing is working. Oh, jeez, I can't believe I did that. Look, I'm so sorry, Harry. Honestly, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't want to inconvenience your life. My heart's in the right place. You gotta believe me. I don't give a damn where your heart is, Mitchell. This has gone way too far. I want you out of my house. I don't care how much of a nice guy you are. I am not putting up with this anymore. Oh, come on, Harry, don't say that. I'm your father-in-law. Find it in your heart. You know I'm a good person. Shut up. Get out. Get out tonight. I don't even want to have this discussion with Eileen. I want you out before she actually gets back here. Eileen, what the hell is going on? I know you're inside there. I can see that your car's here. Open this door. Open this damn door now. I am not putting up with this crap. I've had a horrible day at work. Do you know how much people are ridiculing me for the smell? All I want to do is just get in there and have a bath already. I've never been this humiliated in my entire life, and now you're actually going to lock me out of my own home? I don't want to sit here and play games with you. Open the door now.
You're not coming in this house. You kicked my father out, Harry. You kicked him out when you had no reason to.
What do you mean I had no reason to? Go to the laundry basket and you can find your reason. He's destroyed everything.
Do you have any idea how much he's done for you? Do you have any inch of gratitude toward that guy?
What do you mean gratitude? Should I thank him for making me smell like the septic tanks that he cleans every day? Is that actually what you expect me to do? Eileen, get out of here. I can't believe that I'm having this conversation with you.
Where do you think I got that money?
I'm sorry, what are you talking about right now?
The money for the surgery. Where do you think I got it?
I'm not sure, to be honest. You wanted to be really secretive about it, didn't you? You just rushed me off on that plane before I could ask you anything.
I didn't want to tell you who gave me that money because I thought you should love my father first. I didn't think that should be the reason why you started to like him.
What are you telling me right now? You're actually trying to propose that he gave you that money? The guy works in a septic tank and cleans other people's crap all day. I am not gonna believe you.
Why do you think he's doing that? Do you think that's all he does? Don't you realize that he's the owner of that septic tank cleaning company?
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Yeah, that's right. He's the CEO. You've got no idea the type of life my father has had. From a young age, he's been working in that type of job. It all started with garbage disposal. He's been cleaning up the crap that everyone else throws out. Next, he's in the sewers. Then he finally got somewhat of an upgrade and started cleaning the septic tanks. He got so good at it and developed a new method to do it that he decided to open up his own company. He taught everyone how to do it and got to the point where he didn't even have to do it himself.
Give me your honesty. Are you telling me the truth?
If you really want to know, go check out the website. It's got his story on there for everyone to see. But here's the thing about my dad. He didn't feel right about pushing his work onto other people. He thinks that the CEO should be involved in his business. He should show people that he respects them and that he can also get down and dirty. That's why, on occasion, he still cleans those septic tanks with his employees.
What the? I don't believe what I'm listening to right now. This can't be true. So what you're telling me is that he owns his own company, which could easily make something like $100,000?
Well, that's just the thing. He's actually putting his company at risk to save your father.
Oh, you gotta be joking me.
I'm honest about everything I'm saying right now. $100,000 is a lot. I mean, his company is successful, but it's not that successful. He's definitely taking a very big risk here. That's how much this family means to him. That's how much he wants to get along with you. And what do you do in return? You decide to kick him out all because he made some simple mistake with the clothes?
This is all so much to take in. I can't believe it. You're actually being honest with me right now, aren't you? I can't believe that I've been such an idiot. I had no respect for that guy. I kept looking down on him because of his behavior. I could never think that someone like him actually had his own company, and the fact that he's going there to clean the things himself so that his work is respected, it's actually quite admirable.
Well, there you go. You're starting to see my dad for who he really is. I think you owe him an apology.
No, you're right. I owe him more than that. I've been so mean to that guy. Despite all of that, he's always been nice to me. I can't believe this. This is exactly what my dad was talking about.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go text my dad. He's gonna come back here. You can apologize to his face.
You're right, I can. And I might even ask him to go fishing afterwards if he's okay with it. To this day, I'm still bewildered by the fact that Mitchell tricked me the way he did. He was really good at being sneaky like that. I had no idea that he was that type of person. When I apologized to him that day, he just laughed it off and acted like nothing even happened. He wasn't affected by me kicking him out at all. It was truly admirable to see. I think I can learn a lot from that guy. He's definitely a role model alongside my dad. Speaking of my dad, his operation went well without a hitch. They say that the cancer is receding, and he's getting better by the day. It's really good to see him like that. I guess I can enjoy a couple more years with my father. In addition to helping my father, Mitchell actually extended a hand towards my mother. He doesn't seem like the type of person to be well connected because of the way he behaves. But he's a very respected person. People admire his work ethic. They take inspiration from it, so he knows a lot of people. In his inner circle, there's someone who works specifically with elderly people that have been diagnosed with dementia. He's got my mom in a support group, and they're helping her carry out everyday activities without burdening the people around her. We can't do anything about her brain degradation, but it's good to see her smiling. I'm also spending a lot more time with her. My dad was right about the way that I've been treating my family. I've always thought the right thing to do was to focus on work and get more money to support everyone. But everyone's made me realize that I need to spend more time with them. Eileen is starting to smile at me more. She is so happy that I'm getting along with her dad now. She still gave me a lot of heat for thinking about him the way that I did. But in time, she was able to get over it. I can share a lot of happy and funny moments with Mitchell as well. His behavior still irks me, and I can't get over the fact that he walks around farting all the time. But you know what? I figured that I need to lighten up a bit. I don't want to get too grotesque, but I've been indulging in a little bit of light humor myself. I can see where he's coming from. It is fun after all.
Pauline, come on in. We're just about ready to serve dinner. We're so glad that you were able to make it. Oh, thanks, dear. Of course I wouldn't miss an invitation to have dinner with my daughter and her husband. I was out with some friends today, but it was just a little bit of gossip. We met up at Adeline's house and sat around chatting. There was nothing too much more than that. But that's the kind of fun that old girls like me can have. There was nothing so important that I couldn't leave early and join you here tonight.
Thanks, Mom. Good to see you. Are you hungry? Dinner is ready, but we could delay eating a bit if you're not hungry just yet.
Oh no, I'm ready to eat. Let's go straight to the dining room. That's good. It's better to eat when the food has just been cooked and is still hot. I think that it doesn't taste quite the same once it has been warmed up in the microwave. You are right in that. I don't even have a microwave at home. I just don't trust them, you know. They might be convenient, but everything just tastes a little off when it comes out of the microwave. Nothing beats a good pan and stovetop in my book. Or maybe a proper oven. We also try not to use it if we can help it. But sometimes it's just so quick and easy to stick something in there and warm it up in just a few minutes. Especially if we both come home tired from work and just don't have the energy to make anything proper to eat. Oh, has work been busy for the two of you? How is it all going?
It's been nothing short of a nightmare. I have been staying back late more and more as the projects pile up. We do try to rotate who stays late on any given day, but sometimes not everyone is qualified to work on a particular project, so it ends up in my lap again.
Oh no, that really does sound like a nightmare. Is there anything you can do to not have to stay late so often? It's not right that your employer makes you work after working hours. Aren't they supposed to only pay you for the hours in your contract? Isn't there anything in there that stops them from getting you to stay late?
Technically, we shouldn't be staying late, but it's a little bit of a gray zone when it comes to that. There's some sort of understanding that you should stay late at least sometimes, otherwise you're not a team player or whatever. They love to use that word to make you feel guilty.
My old job used to do the same thing as well. I hated it, and there was no one else on the team that would have felt upset if we all left at the right time. It was just a trick that management used to use in order to guilt trip us into working longer hours.
Yeah, at least I get paid for it, though. It's not unpaid overtime or anything like that. And in one sense, if we didn't do it, we would be even harder pressed during regular working hours. It's just one of those things. At the very least, I hope all the hard work that I do leads to a promotion. Or some sort of pay raise. I'm not going to be holding my breath on that one, though.
Oh dear. That doesn't sound very nice to me. But Brad, how is the business going? You must have to be doing a lot of work to get it started up as well. It's not doing too bad at the moment, but you're right, there is a lot to do. It's still fairly new as well, so I don't have a whole team of administrative staff to help me out. Almost all of the operations have to be done by me. It's not so bad at the moment since the business is still small, but once it gets up and going, I will have to start hiring new people. But even having said that, I would rather work 16 hours a day working for myself than a regular 9 to 5 working for someone else. I don't regret leaving my old job even for a second. And sorry, could you just remind me again exactly what it was that you were doing? You were starting to publish some articles, if I remember correctly. Not exactly articles, but I have opened a small publishing house that focuses on lesser-known books. It's a little bit of a risky endeavor since there are some real powerhouses in the industry, but I hope to fill a little bit of a niche and do some nice business. And has it been going well? When I think of books, I usually just think of buying them on Amazon. They're cheap and fast. And I don't even have to leave my house to get them. They show up at my door and then I am ready to go. What could be easier than that? Amazon is the real big fish in the game, that's for sure. But at the same time, since they focus on volume and selling as much as they can, the quality can sometimes be really poor. I don't know if you have ever noticed, but the print quality of the text and the covers is really low on some of their titles. It might not bother some people who just want to get something cheaply and quickly, but for those who like to have nice copies of books for their home libraries, it's not the best option.
Oh, God. Let's not talk about this too much. Sorry, Brad, but you know that you can talk about books for hours and hours on end. And I have heard this all before as well.
Yeah, I know. That's all I will say about it. In short, Pauline, everything is going well for the time being, and I hope that things get even better as time goes on. Well then, I am really glad to hear that. How was your day, though? You said that you caught up with some friends. What did you get up to? Oh, yes, it was quite nice. Like I said before, we just went over to a girlfriend's house and drank tea and chatted for a few hours. Nothing too special, but it's good for the oldies like me to get out of the house from time to time. Oh, come on now, Pauline. You're not old just yet. There's no need to call yourself that. Thank you, Brad. But I know better than anyone how old I am getting. These old bones are creaking and my back hurts each day when I get up. But let's not talk too much about that either. You will know what I am talking about when you get to my age. The nice thing that we really talked about a lot today was my friends' grandchildren. They showed a lot of photos of their grandkids and they were just so adorable. Adeline has 2 grandsons and now a granddaughter. And then Denise's daughter just gave birth to her first child as well. A girl! They named her Sophie. Isn't that a lovely name? She's such a cute little thing. Her feet and hands are just so small and adorable. I thought my heart would burst looking at her. And that's only the photos. Imagine how sweet she must be in real life.
Babies really are the cutest. Some of our friends are beginning to start families now as well. I also just love the little clothes and shoes that they have.
Yeah, you're right. But it's so funny to me sometimes that you can buy a baby a pair of Adidas or Nike shoes. I mean, it's a baby. Why do they need branded shoes that they will grow out of in a month or so?
It's because they look so cute in them. Even if they don't need them for long, there's only one chance for you to get photos of them wearing something like that as a baby.
All right. I still think it's a bit silly to spend so much money on something like that. The baby shoes cost almost the same amount as a real pair. But what about you two? When are you going to give me some grandkids so that I can bring their photos along and brag about how cute they are to the girls? I'm always the only one who can't really add anything to the conversation when they get started. And I just know that your kids would be by far the cutest. I would be such a proud grandma showing them off to anyone who would listen. And even if they don't want to listen, I would make them. Oh, we're not ready for kids just yet, Pauline. You will have to wait a little while longer yet.
Yeah, Mom. I told you before, remember? We're still going to focus on our careers and ourselves first to make sure that our baby has the perfect home to grow up in.
We know that raising a kid is going to take a lot of time and effort, and also money. So we want to make sure that we're as ready as we can be before we start a family. Oh, rubbish! You will never be fully ready to have children. There's no such thing as the perfect home. Once you feel like you want a child in your life is when you should act. The clock is ticking on these things, you know. You might think that you have forever. But before you know it, the time has run away from you and you're left wishing that you had had children sooner. Oh, I don't think we need to worry so much about that right now. We're not even 30 yet. We still have plenty of time. And it's not like we're putting it off forever. We've discussed it at length together, and we're happy with what we decided. Like I said, you think that you have the time, but then you won't have enough of it no matter what. You should really think about having kids sooner rather than later. That way you will also be young and healthy while they're growing up. Mark my words that this is the best thing for you to do. And I want to still be alive to see some grandchildren and baby them. If you keep waiting as long as you have been, I will be in the dirt before I even get to lay my eyes on them.
Don't be silly, Mom. You're not that old, so stop pretending that you are. You're going to be around for a long time still.
Yeah, don't worry, Pauline. You will definitely get to see your grandchildren in this life. I don't believe that for a second. You need to hurry it up! I don't want to be the only person in my friend circle who doesn't have any photos to show. If everyone else's kids have started families, what's the holdup with you two? If anything, you should have had kids already. I can kind of understand how you feel about it, Pauline. But in the end, like I said, we have already discussed this and we're not quite ready yet. Let's talk about something else, though. We don't want the conversation to get too heated.
Brad is right. Let's leave that topic for now. We can always come back to it if we want to. Are you done with your food already, Mom? Here, let me take your plate and clean up a little bit. Then I can make something for us to drink, and we can even put something on to watch while we chat.
Wow, your mom was really something tonight, wasn't she? I don't think she has ever been like that before. I wonder what changed for her to start acting in that way.
What do you mean? She wasn't acting in any sort of way, was she?
Are you kidding? I'm talking about how pushy she was being about us having kids, saying that we should have started a family already and all that sort of thing. I understand that there is a kind of biological clock that can make having children harder the older you are, but that's nothing for us to worry about. I'm only 28 and you're only 27. We both have tons of time left to worry about that later. And just because her friends were showing her photos of grandchildren, is that really why she decided to go on like that?
I don't know why she started doing that. She was more pushy than normal, you're right.
I know, right? I was sure that she knew about our decision to wait until we were in a stable position and for sure knew we could start a family. You told her about that after we decided it, didn't you? I remember you telling me that you did.
Of course I did tell her. That was a few years ago, though. Maybe she thought that we were stable and ready enough now. Or as ready as we will ever get. But you know, Brad, maybe I have something that I want to say about that.
What do you mean? What is it?
Mom might have been a little too strong about it in the way she was talking, but I think that she might have a point.
What do you mean she has a point? What point does she have?
Come on, you know what I mean. Maybe we should think about having a baby, about starting a family. We have been getting ready for it for a while now. Maybe she is right. Maybe this is as ready as we will ever be.
Where is this all coming from? I thought that we had decided together that we would wait until we were both stable, or around 30. We thought about this for ages before we decided to wait. We are supposed to be focusing on ourselves and our careers. We won't have anywhere near as much time once we decide to have a baby.
We did say that, but that was, what, 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Things change. Now that I am thinking about it, I think that my mom is right. I think that it is time for us to have a baby. And I don't mean sometime in the future. I mean like soon.
You can't be serious. Did she really convince you that easily?
Why are you so against it? I thought that you liked kids and wanted to be a dad. Was that not true?
Of course it was true. I do want to be a dad, but not right now.
Why not? What's wrong with now? What will be different when we're 30 years old? Will that make so much difference, do you think?
I do think that. I mean, look at our jobs right now. You're working overtime every other day, and I am up to my ears in work as well with this business. When are we going to have time to look after the baby? And before you say that we can hire a nanny, we both decided that we didn't want to do that. We wanted to be there to look after the baby ourselves, and I still think that that is the right way to do things.
I know that, and I do think that as well. But if I have a child, then I wouldn't be working that much anyway. I could quit my job and then have time to care for them while you are working.
But it's not just about that either. I mean, the new business is going well, but it's going well for a new business, if you know what I mean. I don't think that we can reliably say just yet if it will be successful enough to support a family on, especially if you quit your job.
I thought you said that you're confident that you will be able to make it succeed. What happened to that confidence? Why does it disappear only when you can use it as an excuse to not have a kid?
What? Are you really accusing me of doing that right now? That's not what I am doing, believe me. But there is a difference between it doing well now and doing well in the future. It can take literal years for things to stabilize. Once I have a good catalog and have sorted out a good system with the printers and distributors, things will be different. but we're not big enough right now for me to be able to do that consistently. I have to be in talks with everyone at every step of the way. Even one mess-up could lead to really bad results for me and the company. I just don't want to have the baby while that is a possibility. What if something really bad happens to the business and then you don't have a job at the time? We would be in real trouble.
But that's the nature of business. That could happen at any time. Now or a few years into the future.
That's true, but it's more likely now when I am just starting up than when I have established it a little more. A lot will be different in a year or two. We also have the mortgage to think about as well. That's not a small amount of money that we are paying. And if you quit your job, then all of that will have to be covered by the business, and I don't know if that's super realistic right now. I wish it were, but I don't know if it is. In a couple of years' time, I do think that everything will be more stable and I won't have to do everything on my own. But right now is different.
And won't you just have some other excuse in a few years' time when everything is stable? You can say whatever you want about the publishing business. It's not like I know about what's going on there. And the mortgage is still going to be around a few years from now as well. We're going to be paying that off for ages still to come. Next, you'll be telling me that we can't start a family until that's paid in full.
I'm not going to say that. I know that there is still a lot left on it, and that's exactly why we have to be smart about these things. And I wouldn't lie to you about something like that. I'm always quite open with you about how the business is going, even if you don't know all the details. And this isn't even anything new what I am saying now. You have heard this all before without us talking about a kid. This is just how it is right now. I think it would be a mistake to have a baby now and then not be in the right position to spend enough time caring for them. I don't want to be the kind of father who is absent at the beginning, or at any time for that matter, just because I am busy with work. But as it stands, it's all work that needs to be done by me because there is no one else to do it. As the business grows, that will change, but that sort of growth takes time. It's not even a matter of me working harder for a while.
Fine, I won't mention it anymore tonight. But this is something that I have changed my mind on. I mean, our decision to wait. I want you to at least think about it.
How about we revisit this later? And I don't mean tomorrow because nothing will have changed in that short amount of time. I can understand how you feel, but changing what we plan to do in one night doesn't seem like the right thing to do for me. Now, let's get some sleep. Both of us have a big day ahead of us tomorrow.
Good morning, honey. Do you have a moment to chat right now? I know that you've been busy recently. If now isn't a good time, I can always call you back later on. It's not a problem.
No, Mom, it's fine. I was just about to take an early lunch break anyway. Even if it's busy, I can still give myself breaks when I need to, as long as the work gets done at some point in the day. It's all fine. What's going on? Did you have something to tell me?
I did actually, yes. So earlier this week, Julia dropped by the house to have a chat with me. It was nice to see her. We often only talk when you're around. I didn't expect her to show up all on her own at my house.
She did that? Really? She didn't say anything to me about going to visit you. When did she even have time to do that? She was supposed to have been working late most of the week.
Well, she came by on Wednesday evening, if that means anything. At around 7 p.m. I don't know if that's working late for her or not, but that was when she came.
That's strange. She told me that she was at the office until 8 p.m. that night. But whatever, it doesn't matter now. What did she drop by for? It's not the kind of thing she usually does. If she has some free time, she tends to use it to relax at home these days.
Like I said, I really didn't expect it and was quite surprised when I opened the door and found that it was her who rang the doorbell. Anyway, she came in and I made her some tea and we talked a little.
Well, that sounds nice to me. Why is this something that you felt you needed to tell me about? Maybe it's a little strange that she didn't tell me that she saw you, but that's about it.
It's what we talked about that I was a little uncertain about. She told me that the two of you were planning to start a family soon. You had always told me that you were going to wait a few more years and that that was a decision that the two of you had reached, so I thought it a little strange that all of a sudden you had changed your mind.
What? Did she really tell you that? As far as I know, we haven't changed our minds about that. Did she say anything else?
I thought that it sounded unrealistic, so I asked her about it. I asked her if something had happened to make you change your mind. I know that you're very organized and usually don't change plans unless something really happens to make you. or if you decide based on the current circumstances that there is a better choice to take. Well, then she told me that you still weren't ready to have a child, but that she had decided that she did want to start a family.
We did have a short conversation about that where she was leaning towards having a kid earlier than we talked about. But there definitely wasn't any sort of decision made at the time. I don't know why she is saying that I want to have kids now.
Right. Well, she had actually come to talk to me because she wanted me to try and persuade you to have a kid earlier than you had planned. That's why she also didn't tell you that she saw me, I am guessing. So that you thought that everything I said was just my own thoughts and not something that she asked me to do.
You're joking, right? She's asking you to try and persuade me into having children now? Isn't that kind of manipulative? So, is that what you're doing now then? Trying to convince me?
No, of course not. That's why I am telling you what she asked me to do. I know that you have made up your mind, and I am not going to go behind your back and try to trick you into making any rash decisions. But I did think that you should know that she has obviously changed her mind about the whole waiting thing. You should really have a talk with her so that you're both on the same page.
I see. Thanks for telling me. I know what has happened, kind of. Her mom, Pauline, came over a few weeks ago for dinner and was being quite pushy about us having kids now and giving her grandchildren. She had just been with some friends catching up, and they were apparently all showing off pictures of their grandkids. That was the night that Julia and I had a talk about it a little bit. But like I said, nothing was decided at all. I think that she might be feeling a little pressured by her mother right now. I don't know if it's really her own feelings or she just wants to please Pauline by giving her some grandchildren. If it's the latter, I really don't think that's a good reason to start a family. We should do it on our own terms and when we're good and ready.
Well, pressure from parents can be quite tough, and that's why I will never pressure you like that. My own mom, your grandma, did that when I was around your age. It was really uncomfortable to deal with when she wouldn't stop talking about it and how I will soon be too old to have kids. Of course, I didn't have you and your sister just because your mom pressured me, but I know how it can feel. Just know that I am always on your side, and I think that you shouldn't rush into it.
I know that, Mom. You know that I am good at withstanding peer pressure, and this is one thing that I definitely will not budge on. Anyway, thanks a lot for telling me. I will need to have a talk with Julia about what is going on with her. Hey, there's something that I need to talk to you about. My mom gave me a call today. She told me what happened and what you talked about.
What do you mean by that? What did she tell you?
Well, she told me that you went over to her house on Wednesday when you told me that you were working late.
Oh, well, is there really anything wrong with that? I thought that if I had told you that I went to see your mom, you would have gotten upset that I didn't invite you along. But I think it's important for your mom and me to get together on our own every now and then. Don't you think that's a good thing?
No, you're right. I do think that's nice for you two to hang out, just the two of you. That's not really the issue there right now. She also told me what you said about starting a family and how you asked her to convince me of the same without being direct about it.
Oh, damn it. Why did she have to go and tell you? If she wasn't going to go along with it, she could have at least kept quiet about it. Doesn't she know how to keep a secret?
She's my mom and I am her son. Of course she was going to tell me about something like that. This isn't just a regular old secret that we're talking about here.
But I am her daughter-in-law. That should count for something when I ask her to do me a favor. I wish she hadn't blabbed about it to you.
It counts for other things. You know that she thinks highly of you and always treats you well. But what you did is a real problem, Julia. I'm really not happy about it, to be honest.
Why? I don't think that I did anything that could be considered so bad. What's the issue?
What's the issue? You went behind my back to try and get my mom to coerce me into having a baby with you. How can you not see what's wrong with that? This is something that is between you and me. And if there's something to say, then you should be talking to me about it, not anybody else. You shouldn't be being so sneaky about something like this, you know? This is an important decision for the both of us. It's not right for you to use some kind of underhanded tricks to try and make me change my mind about it.
Well, what else was I supposed to do? I tried to tell you what I wanted to do and all you could say was stuff about your business.
That's not true. We didn't really talk about it seriously, and we definitely didn't make any concrete decisions. And all the stuff that I said about the business was directly related to what we had been talking about. I wasn't just changing the subject or anything like that. The way you put it makes it sound like I was.
Okay then. So if I came and told you directly that I wanted to have a kid right now, then you would listen to me and agree?
I wouldn't just agree straight away, but I would definitely listen to you about it. But I have told you lots of times that I want to wait until we have kids. You were completely on board with that as well until just a little while ago. I don't know why you have changed your mind so suddenly, but I am not going to do the same.
So now it's only your thoughts on the matter that are important? What I want doesn't play into this at all.
That's not what I am saying. I am saying that we discussed at length what our future together might look like and came to a decision. I think that if we are going to change those plans, first, there has to be a very good reason for that, and second, there has to be the same level of discussion. I don't think that a quick chat before bed counts as a proper discussion, especially when we're talking about something that is going to change our entire lives. And then for you to go out and try to use my mom to change my mind is really not on. Can't you see how that's not the right way to go about things?
Then what else am I supposed to do? You just said yourself that you don't want to change your mind. Well, then someone has to change your mind for you, right? In my head, I thought that your mom would be the perfect person who could do that. I guess I was wrong about that.
You were wrong about that. My mom told me that I shouldn't give in to any pressure when it comes to something like this. Her mom had also pressured her a lot when she was younger, and she said that it had been a lot to deal with and weighed on her a lot. If anything, she is more on my side than yours.
Typical. Of course she is on your side. Why wouldn't she be?
Listen, I know that your mom has been pushy about it recently, but that doesn't mean that you need to just bow to her wishes. This is our life and our future together. It's not something that we should rush into just because your mom wants to show her friends some photos of her grandkids.
That's not the only thing that's happening here. I told you that she had a point in what she was saying that night. And the more I think about it, the more I agree with her. I don't just want to have a child so that she can show her friends some photos. I want to have a child because I want to. I want to be a mother. I want to start a family of our own. Don't act like my mom is the only one who has some say in what I think. I can think for myself and I have made this choice as well.
Okay, but this is still a choice that we have to both agree on. You can't just decide this and then go behind my back to try and force me to agree in these roundabout ways. We need to talk about it properly, weigh our options, and decide together. We're not going to rush into this. I don't understand why you are in such a hurry all of a sudden. This isn't a decision that we should be making after one night. We should think about it and then talk about it, then wait and do that again.
Well, to me, it is something that I can decide in one night. I don't need to weigh the pros and cons on everything, especially when I know for sure that it's what I want. Not every decision has to be methodically thought out and have some grand plan about it. I want a child. That's all. It's not that hard to understand, is it?
What I am having trouble understanding is the reason why you changed your mind so quickly. I thought we talked about this.
And I told you that sometimes people change their minds about things that they might have said or done in the past. Sure, I did agree with you before that we should wait to have kids. But now I don't want to do that. I want to have kids now.
Okay, well, you should have just spoken to me about it and had a conversation. I said that this isn't something that I can just decide so quickly. Let me think about it more and then talk about it later, okay? This is a life-changing decision after all.
Whatever. I know that you're not going to even think about it. You have it in your head that you are right and you won't even consider anything else. I know how you think.
I will think about it. But it's not fair for you to try and make me make such a huge decision by using sneaky tactics and not even giving me any time to think.
Hey, are you free right now? Did you want to come along somewhere with me?
I guess so. Where did you need to go? Is there something that we need to take care of? Or did you just want to go somewhere for fun?
Oh, just for fun, you know. The weather is quite nice and I wanted to head out and do something. I thought that you might want to come with me instead of being inside all day.
That sounds good to me. Anywhere in particular that you wanted to go to? I don't really have anything in mind, so I am fine with pretty much whatever.
I was thinking that we could maybe go and get something to eat or at least a coffee and a snack somewhere. And then why not drop into Target and take a look there as well?
Sure, I guess we can do that. Was there something that you needed to get from there? What are we shopping for?
Oh, nothing in particular, really. I just thought we could go there and take a look around. Maybe they could have something that we could use for the house. It's your day off today as well, right? You don't have any work to do right now, do you?
No work for me to do right now. Let's go then. It's not a bad idea to get out of the house and spend some time together. I wouldn't mind getting some fast food either. It might not be that great to eat all the time, but I do like it every now and then. It's been ages since I have had a Big Mac.
Oh my god, come over here, Brad. Look at all of these. They are so cute.
What do you have there?
Look at this little onesie. It has little giraffes on it, and there is a hood as well so that the baby can look like a baby giraffe. Isn't that adorable?
I guess so, yeah. It's pretty cute. Small stuff is always cute, isn't it?
Come on, you can be a little bit more enthusiastic about it. All of this stuff is so nice. And it's not just because it's small. Look at the design and the little pom-poms on this one. I can't wait until we have a baby and we can go out and start getting things like this. Our baby is going to be so cute. I can't wait. We can dress him or her up in all the cutest stuff. Everyone will melt when they see them.
Julia, I can see what you're doing. Was this the whole point of coming to Target today? Just so you could do this? I thought you just wanted to get out of the house and do something, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
What do you mean? What am I doing? I thought we were just looking around. We are just out of the house doing something.
Yeah, but you come directly to the baby section and start gushing about having a kid again and how cute everything is. Come on, I can see what you're trying to do.
And what exactly is it that I am trying to do then?
You're bringing me here to show me and talk about baby clothes again in another attempt to sway my decision. Don't pretend that you don't know what you're doing. It's pretty obvious what your plan is here.
What's the harm in just looking at some of these items? It's not like I am going to buy any of them.
You don't have to bring me out here just for this express purpose. I told you that I don't like that you're trying to use backhanded tricks to get the idea of having a baby in my head.
Fine. Sorry for thinking that it might be fun for the both of us to come to Target and just look around a little bit. Let's go home then.
We can look around. It's just that I don't understand why we came all the way out here just to look at baby stuff for no reason.
Because I want to have a baby! How much clearer do I have to make it for you?
You have made that pretty clear, but I am also trying to make it clear to you that I don't want you to go about it in this way. Tricking me into it is the worst way to go about it.
Fine, let's just go. I don't want to look at anything else anyway.
Let's at least go and get something to eat, though. Why come out here and then go straight home? You were the one who suggested getting some food in the first place.
No, I want to go straight home. You have put me in a bad mood and I am not hungry anymore. You can go and eat somewhere if you want, but you're going to have to do it alone. And after you drop me off at home as well.
Hey, Sam. Sorry that I am a little late. Been having a few arguments with the wife again. It happens day after day now. It's getting really tiring, to be honest. What's been going on with you? How are the kids? Growing up fast, I am sure. No kidding. You look pretty worn out. Everything is fine with me, on the other hand. The kids are great as well. George just started playing basketball. He got into it all of a sudden without any warning. He came home one day from school and begged us to let him play for some local team. Turns out that one of the kids brought a basketball to school and then they shot some hoops afterwards in a park. He enjoyed it so much that he just had to start playing himself. That's not a bad hobby to get into. Better than just sitting around playing games all day. I've heard that that's what a lot of kids do these days, especially those who are still in grade school. Crazy, isn't it? When we were that age, we didn't even have the internet, let alone phones and games and all the rest of it. Yeah, but that's because we're getting old. And we did have the internet at least. But it was the old dial-up system. You couldn't even use the phone and use the internet at the same time. It was a real pain when you were trying to use the internet and then your mom would yell at you to get off because she had to make a phone call. Yeah, that's fair. We did have that. But it's not even close to the sort of technology kids have at their fingertips these days. You're right, it's a completely different thing. But we're getting older and times are changing. I am glad that my son has been interested in sports now. I mean, kids that age get into things at the slightest push. I hope he doesn't get bored of it after a while and call it quits, though. I'm sure he won't. If he has a good time playing, then there is no reason for him to quit just like that. Let's hope so, anyway. He hasn't been playing for that long, so it's still fun. It's sticking with something that is more difficult for the kids, I think. And then it will be good if the younger one sees George playing sports and decides to follow him in that when he is old enough. Younger siblings usually do that sort of thing. But on the other hand, they also like to be different, and he might end up doing something else. I don't mind if he doesn't do basketball. They don't have to do the same thing exactly. But as long as it's something active, then I will be happy. To be honest, I would love Harry to play baseball. Basketball is all well and good, but you know I love a good baseball game. He might even take an interest in all my collector cards, too. Now that really is an old man talking. Do kids really care about that sort of thing these days? A bunch of dusty old cards? I'll have you know that they're not dusty in the slightest. I have them all in plastic sleeves so that they stay in good condition. You know what I mean. I don't mean literally covered in dust. I know. I have no idea if you would be interested in them or not. We'll just have to wait and see. How old is little Harry now, anyway? Is it going to be that much longer before he starts the sport up? He's going to turn 5 later on this year, so it might be a couple more years. But it all depends when he decides that he wants to do something. I could technically register him whenever, but I don't want to push him into anything that he doesn't want to do himself. Yeah, you can say that again. My old man made me play tennis for a while when I was a kid. Didn't ask if I wanted to or anything. He loved it, so he just signed me up and I had to do it. It wasn't until I started skipping practice after he dropped me off that he realized that he should let me quit. The instructors had to call him to make sure that I was okay when I didn't show up. It happened enough times that he finally caught on and let me stop. Yeah, that's the last thing that I want to happen. But enough about that. What's going on with you and Julia? What are you all arguing about so often? I thought you had a pretty good marriage with her and almost never argued. That's the thing. It used to be like that. But recently things have changed a little. Well, only one thing. And that one thing is making you fight all the time? That must have been a pretty major change. What happened? She wants a baby. That's what. And she is really pushing me towards that now. Oh yeah, that will do it. Didn't you two agree to not have kids just yet? Isn't that what you told me? We did. We talked a lot about our future and decided to wait. I am still on board with that plan, but it seems like she isn't anymore. The thing is that it happened really out of nowhere. Her mother came over for dinner one night and started talking about how we needed to start a family and give her grandchildren. And just like that, she has been in my face about it ever since that night. There wasn't even a mention of the topic before that. I think that she just has baby fever at the moment, and I hope that it will pass in a little while, and then she will realize that the plan that we had set out still makes the most sense. I mean, I'm still in the process of starting this business and getting it on track and stable. I don't think having a kid right now is going to be good for anyone. I won't be able to focus on work. But then when I am at work, I won't be able to support her with caring for the baby. And there is always a risk that the company won't do well and we go into debt or at least don't have a stable income. It seems like a no-brainer to me to just wait for a year or two and then think about it more seriously. And she doesn't want to do that, I gather? Not at all. She's even been trying to basically trick me into wanting kids too. How is that even possible? How can someone trick you into that? First, she secretly met with my mom and asked her to talk to me indirectly and also mentioned that I should have kids and that stuff. Of course, my mom just came to me and told me what had happened and said that I shouldn't fall into any pressure from others. Then the other day, she asked me to come to Target with her and went straight to the baby section and started gushing about how cute everything was and how she can't wait until we can come and buy this stuff for our baby. I don't mind it if she seriously wants to talk to me about changing our plans, but she doesn't. I don't appreciate how she is trying to manipulate me into this. It's a big life-changing decision and it shouldn't be made like this. I agree with you on that one. And getting your mom involved like that? That's a bit too far in my opinion. Listen to me. I have kids, obviously, and I would say that my wife and I both rushed into it a little too fast. We were young and had just gotten married and thought that the sooner we started a family, the better. But looking back on it now, we should have been more prepared. The amount of time and effort you need to put into raising a child is immense. I can't overstate that. That's not to say that I regret having my kids. Not at all. I love them to death and would do anything for them. But at the same time, we could definitely have been in a better situation financially when we decided to have kids. Then everything would have been easier for us. It worked out in the end, but it was probably more of a struggle than it had to be. That's basically where I am coming from. I love kids and I do want to have a family at some point. But since we decided together that we would wait, I don't think that we should just change those plans on what seems like a whim. But Julia doesn't want to listen to me when I say that. She just accuses me of thinking that what I want and think is more important. It's a hard conversation to have. I don't know what the best thing for you to do really is right now. But what I will say is that while you can never be fully prepared to have kids, you can definitely be better prepared for them. It's not something that you should be rushing into and not a decision to be made overnight. I think you already know that, but I thought I would let you know as someone who actually has kids of his own. Yeah, I'm aware. But thanks anyway. It's good to know that I am not alone in thinking that rushing into it isn't the best idea. I would really prefer it if Julia would just calm down and talk to me about it more reasonably. But she often ends up just getting angry instead. Sorry about that. Too bad this is something that I can't help you out with. It's alright. There are always some things in life that we have to go through on our own. Hey, I'm home. I decided to come home a little earlier than normal. And Sam said he was tired and wanted an early night as well. What are you doing up here? You going to bed this early? That's not really like you. You're usually watching TV and winding down around this time.
Oh, Brad. You're home already? Hey.
Yeah, I'm home. What's up? You almost seem a little spooked to see me. Did I scare you?
Oh, I just didn't think you would be home this early, so you gave me a bit of a shock when you walked up here. I thought I was alone up here. You gave me a real start.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to scare you or anything. I thought that you would have heard me come in the door. But what are you doing anyway? Hold on. What's that you've got? What's behind your back? Why are your hands behind your back?
Nothing. I don't have anything. What are you talking about? How about we go into the living room and put something on the TV? You're right that this is normally the time that I would be watching something. Let's go and watch something together. You go first and I will meet you in there later. You can even choose what we watch.
Hold on. What were you doing when I came in? Seriously, show me your hands.
Why? I don't have to show you anything. I don't have anything in my hands anyway.
I can see that you're holding something. What do you have to hide from me? You're acting really suspicious right now. Julia, what's going on? Show me.
Fine. Here. Happy? Is that what you wanted?
What the hell is this? What were you doing with this?
Nothing! I wasn't doing anything!
My condoms and a pin. Were you actually doing what I think you were? Were you actually pricking holes in the condoms without me knowing so that I might get you pregnant?
I wouldn't do something like that. Don't ask such ridiculous questions.
That was a rhetorical question. I can see clear as day that that was what you were doing. That's the only thing that you could possibly be doing, and that's why you tried to hide it when I came in. What is wrong with you? You can't do something like that. Julia, this isn't okay at all. What are you thinking? I'm seriously speechless right now.
Well, how else am I supposed to have a kid if you don't want one? I figured this was the only option left to me because you never listen to me.
You don't even talk to me about it for the most part. You just try to trick me using some sneaky methods. And if I try to talk to you about it, you get really defensive and it turns into an argument.
Why should I have to explain myself to you about it? There's nothing else to say. You always want to talk and discuss and blah, blah, blah. What's there to talk about? I want a kid and I want one now. We don't need to have a discussion about it.
This is insane, though. You know that this is basically a crime. People have been charged before for doing stuff like this.
Oh, shut up. That's not true. What crime is this? The crime of wanting to have a baby? I would like to hear you tell me just exactly what law there is against that. And in what country, too.
Obviously, that isn't what I am talking about. It's not a crime to want to have a baby, but to damage condoms like that without me knowing is. That's sexual assault of some kind. Do you even realize what you have done?
Stop being so stupid and sensitive. Sexual assault? Get real. I didn't assault you. I haven't even touched you. How could I have assaulted you if I haven't even touched you? We're standing across the room from one another.
No, but that's still what the crime was judged to be. I'm not saying that you have assaulted me. I'm just saying how serious what you are doing is. For example, not wearing a condom when the other person thinks that you are is illegal. This is sort of the reverse of that situation.
Those aren't even close to being the same thing.
They're not the same, but they are similar. One has the risk of passing on STIs when one person thinks they are using protection. The other one runs the risk of a pregnancy when one person thinks that they are using protection. They're not exactly analogous, but they both violate one's sexual partner's consent. That's what's happening here as well.
Since when did you become such an expert on the law, huh? Did you go to law school without me realizing it?
I'm not an expert, but this is something that I have heard about. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Don't deflect. Give me those. These are going straight in the bin. I seriously can't believe that you would really think that this was a good idea. You can stay up here tonight, but I am sleeping on the couch for a while. I don't even want to be in here right now.
What? You're going to sleep on the couch? Then how are we supposed to have a baby at all like that?
We're not having one. We both have to agree to that. It's not something that you can force me into doing, and especially not like this. Brad, I have a very serious conversation that I need to have with you. I'm not very happy with what Julia has been telling me. It seems as though things between you aren't going along as they should be. Pauline, what do you mean? What serious conversation? What did Julia tell you about us? As far as I can tell, things aren't going too badly. Julia told me that the two of you haven't been having sex recently. I don't think that's very good of you to withhold something like that. She wants a baby, and this isn't the way to give her what she wants now, is it? What? Why is she telling you things like that? That's a private matter between me and her. She has been very pushy about having kids ever since you started talking about it, and it has been causing some issues, if I am honest. But even so, our sex life is something that is between the two of us, and I don't think you should be getting involved in the conversation. Because I am her mother. Of course she is going to talk to me. Do you really think that the two of us have any secrets between us? Sure, maybe the two of you talk about everything, but I don't think you should be asking me these sorts of things. Like I said, this is a private matter. It doesn't really concern you, Pauline. And I wonder if she really told you the full story anyway. It does concern me when it stops me from having grandkids. You can't get her pregnant if the two of you aren't even having sex in the first place. I've told you my thoughts on this, and I want you to hurry up with it. With respect, it doesn't really matter what you want in this regard. This is a decision that Julia and I need to make together, and she has stepped across a line recently that has put that on hold for a while. What do you mean it doesn't matter what I think? Of course it does. I should have a say in this as much as anyone. No, I'm sorry, but that's not how it works at all. I know you want grandkids, but you will have to wait. You're just upset about her trying to poke holes in the condoms, right? Is that why you two aren't having sex? You know about that? I guess she really did tell you the full story. Well, basically, yes, that is why. I don't really trust myself or her to do that now. I just have the feeling that she is going to do whatever she can to force me to get her pregnant somehow. I'm not agreeing to that just because it's something that she wants. It's not something that she can force me to do. Why are you being so soft about this? Who cares if she tried to stick a few pinholes in some condoms? You caught her, didn't you? So no harm came of it anyway. I don't know why you would stop having sex over something that silly. I have heard of wives withholding sex from their husbands, but never of a husband doing that to his wife. What kind of man are you? It's not something small or silly at all. This was a huge breach of trust. I know that she has baby fever or something right now, but that was a huge no. She can't trick me into having kids, and she can't do that sort of thing behind my back. You can't blame her for this, Brad. She wants a child, and she is well within her rights to have one. You're the one who is being difficult and causing problems. She wants a kid. You should think about letting her have her way regarding that before someone else does. Excuse me? What is that even supposed to mean? What are you trying to suggest, Pauline? I am not suggesting anything, and I didn't mean anything either. I am just stating the facts. It would seem to me that you should think about that a little more carefully.
Guess what? I have some really big news. This is so exciting that I can hardly hold it in.
What is it? What happened? You look super excited. I can see it all over your face. What could have gotten you like this?
You have to guess. I just told you that.
Oh, come on. Don't make me do that. You know that I won't be able to guess. I don't even know the general realm of what you're talking about.
Yeah, you would never guess this. Fine, I will cut to the chase, but it would have been more fun if you at least tried to guess a little bit.
It's impossible to ever guess something when someone says, guess what? Just hurry up and tell me.
I'm pregnant! I am going to have a baby!
Wait, what? Are you being serious right now? You're telling me that you're actually pregnant. Like you're having a baby.
Is there another meaning of the word pregnant that I don't know about? That's exactly what I am telling you. Of course I am being serious. This isn't something that I would joke about. You should know that better than anyone.
But that can't be right. There's just no way that you're pregnant. How can this be? I don't understand.
Why not? Why is that impossible? I know that you were against having a kid, but don't use that to make it seem impossible.
No, that's not what I meant. But we haven't been having sex. So how could you be pregnant? We haven't had sex since I caught you pricking holes into my condoms. There's no way that you could be pregnant because of that. You can't get pregnant without having sex, Julia. What's going on?
Obviously, you need to have sex to get pregnant. Come on, I'm not a teenager in need of a sex ed lesson. And while it's true that we haven't been having sex for a little while, it must have been from before then, and I just didn't notice. Even condoms aren't 100% foolproof, you know. I felt some symptoms that, when I looked them up, sounded like they might be morning sickness, and I decided to do a pregnancy test, and then it said that it was positive. I really am pregnant.
No, this still doesn't make sense. It's been like 3 months and only now you decided to take a test? Look at you. There's no sign of you being pregnant at all. You couldn't look like that over a third of the way through your pregnancy, right? And you never even mentioned any of these symptoms to me. We wake up together every morning and you never complained about it once.
Why? That can happen sometimes. Women all have different bodies and their bodies react in different ways. I guess that's what's happening with me. And I didn't want to say anything because you're busy with work and didn't want to complain about something that I didn't myself understand the cause of.
Did you just take one of those tests that you get from the pharmacy?
Yeah, why? What else would I have done? What other test is there?
Then maybe that explains the result. That could be the problem here. You know those types of tests aren't always right. They can sometimes give false positives. I don't think it's right, to be honest.
Don't be like this. You're just not happy about the news, but that doesn't mean that you should be trying to shut me down.
I'm not even doing that. This just makes no sense to me at all. You should go and get tested at a clinic. Those tests are always going to be correct. I just won't believe it any other way. This is too impossible to even consider. You can't get pregnant if we haven't been having sex.
I already told you that it must have been from before then. But fine, I will do what you want and go to a clinic for a test. Will you believe me then?
Then I will believe that you are pregnant, yes. But I am sorry to say that the chances are very low. The other test you did must have been a false positive.
I know that it wasn't. But I will get the test just to prove to you that I really am pregnant. So I did the test and the results are back. Do you want to know what they said?
Of course I do. But I am sure that I already know the answer.
Well, if you still think that you are right about what you said before, that would make you wrong. Ironic, isn't it?
Wait, what? So that means that you really are pregnant. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yes! I am pregnant! That's what I have been trying to tell you. The basic test and now this clinic test both said the same thing. I am having a baby. Do you believe me now? There's no way that you're going to say that the clinic is wrong too, are you?
No, I don't think that they are wrong. You must be having a baby after all.
Thank you! Was that so hard? You could have just believed me when I told you myself. Then I wouldn't have had to drag myself to the doctors.
I said that you are having a baby, but I don't think that the baby is mine.
What? What are you even saying right now? How could the baby not be yours? Are you crazy?
No, I am not crazy. I don't see how the baby could be mine. There is simply no way that that is possible. We haven't been having sex now for quite some time, and before that, we always used protection.
But it doesn't always work. There's nothing that is 100% foolproof. I told you that before as well.
It doesn't matter. The timing doesn't make sense either. It simply cannot be my baby. I just know that it isn't.
So what then? What are you trying to say? Are you accusing me of cheating?
That's the only way that you could have gotten pregnant like this. Nothing else makes sense.
How can you say that? I can't believe that I am trying to share a happy moment with you about having a baby and you come out and accuse me of cheating. Just because you don't want a baby right now doesn't mean that you can say these things to me to make yourself feel better.
I'm not trying to make myself feel better. How on earth would thinking that my wife cheated on me make me feel better? But there is no other way for this to have happened. It's seriously impossible that it is my child.
It's not impossible. Stop being so stupid about this. This is your baby and you need to deal with that. I don't care that this goes against your plan or whatever, or that you think you might not be ready. This is your child and you need to get over all of your hang-ups and raise them with me. You're going to be a father.
No, I cannot accept this. I want to take a paternity test. I need to see that test.
You don't trust me that much? You really want to have a paternity test to prove that you're the dad?
Yes, that's exactly what I want. Otherwise, I will not believe that you are pregnant with my child.
You're being ridiculous. We can't even do that sort of test until the baby is born. You're going to have to wait a long time to get those results. You should just accept that you're the dad already and forget about that sort of thing.
That's not true. We can have a test while the baby isn't born yet.
Wait, what? That's actually possible?
Yes, and that way we can see just how far along you are in the pregnancy as well. We're getting that test. Otherwise, I will not believe that I am the father.
Here you go again! First you wouldn't believe the pregnancy test that I took, and now you want another test to prove this. Why can't you just trust me on this?
Because I can't. You must have cheated on me, otherwise you would not be pregnant right now. I am not going to argue with you anymore about this. I want that test and I won't be sleeping here until we get it.
Are you serious? And where are you going to sleep then? This is your house.
It doesn't matter where I am going to sleep. That doesn't concern you. But if the baby really is mine like you say it is, then you shouldn't have any problems with getting a paternity test, right? Or is there some other reason that you're against it?
I'm not against it. I just think this is something that you should trust me on. I don't like that you're accusing me of cheating. How would you feel if I did that to you for no reason?
If there was no reason, I would feel pretty bad, of course. But I do have a reason, and I have never given you a reason to think that I have been cheating on you, because I haven't been. I'm leaving now, but you can decide what to do. I want that test, and you shouldn't have a problem with it. Not wanting to get it is suspicious enough in my eyes. Book an appointment and tell me. I will be there and we can sort this out once and for all. If I really am the father, then I will apologize for this, but I cannot put my mind to ease without it.
Fine! I will get the stupid test! But why do you have to leave and stay somewhere else? What's the point in that?
I don't want to be here while there is a chance that you have been sleeping with someone else behind my back. Maybe my worries are all for nothing, but I don't really think that that is the case. Text me when you make an appointment. I knew it! I just knew that the baby wasn't mine. No wonder you were just saying that I should trust you and that we didn't need to do the test. Of course you knew that the test would prove what I knew to be the case. How did you think I wouldn't catch on? Do you really think that I am that stupid? Did you think I wouldn't work out what had happened?
Just calm down for a second, would you? I don't think you're stupid. I never said that. And there's no need to be yelling right now. That's not going to solve anything. Just take a seat and take a few deep breaths. Okay? Can you do that for me?
Calm down? Calm down? How am I supposed to calm down? You've been cheating on me and are now pregnant with another man's child. And you want me to calm down? Not only did you cheat on me, but you tried to pass the baby off as mine. What the hell is wrong with you? How can you even be so calm right now? Don't you see the gravity of the situation? Just how long have you been cheating on me then, huh? How long has this affair been going on?
I wasn't cheating on you. And there is no affair either. It's not like I fell in love with someone else or anything like that. I still love you.
What the hell does that even mean? You can't just say I love you and pretend that nothing has happened. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. If you love someone, you don't go out and cheat on them and then pretend that someone else's baby is theirs. Why do I even have to explain something that basic to you? What the hell is going on? I feel like I am losing my mind here. This should be the most obvious thing in the whole world.
I'm saying that I didn't cheat on you, but I wanted a baby so badly. You know how much I wanted to start a family.
And so you thought that you would find someone else to start a family with? That was your bright idea. You couldn't trick me with your mind games and by trying to get my mother in on your stupid plan. So you thought that cheating on me was the next step?
All I wanted was to start a family with you, but you didn't want to have a baby. I thought that the only thing that I had left to do was to get pregnant by someone else, but then raise the child with you. I never wanted to have a family with someone else. I only ever wanted to have a family with you. And this baby could be the way that we do that. Just because this baby might be someone else's doesn't mean that we can't raise it together. Just pretend that the baby is yours and we can have our dream of starting our own family. I know that you think that it's a little too early, but it will be fine. We will totally be able to manage even with you running your business and all the rest of the stuff that you have been worried about. Trust me, this is not that big of a deal. You will see that once you calm down.
I can't believe those words just came out of your mouth. You want me to pretend that the baby is mine? What the hell? There is no chance that I am going to do that. Why on earth would I do that? I can't even comprehend the fact that you want me to look past you cheating on me with another man and being pregnant with his kid and then just what? Pretend the baby is mine and be a happy family?
Well, why not? You could have been the father if you hadn't been so stubborn about this. I told you so many times that I wanted a baby and to start a family, but you wouldn't listen to me. What else was I supposed to do, huh? You didn't give me any other option. You took the option of having a child with you off the table completely. What did you want me to do if not this?
You were supposed to do literally anything but this. Literally anything else would have been fine. This is the most insane and outlandish thing I think I have heard in my entire life. Just because I didn't want to have a baby right now and you were so keen on it, doesn't mean that this was the way for you to do things. If we were going to start a family, that had to happen on terms that worked for both of us. I have said it before and I will say it again. You can't manipulate and trick me into deciding when I am ready to have a child. You know that I did want to start a family with you at some point, but that was supposed to be a year or two from now. We had talked about it so much. I had explained it to you so many times. And then you go out and do this to me?
But I wanted a baby now and not 2 or 3 years into the future. Why can't you understand that? Why does that not matter at all in this? Was I supposed to just wait around and waste away until you were ready to have a kid?
Who said anything about waiting around and wasting away? When was that ever something that you were supposed to do? The whole idea was that we get our careers in order, have a good financial reserve, and then have a baby who we can spend most of our energy on caring for and raising.
We can still do that with this child, though. Even if it's earlier than you wanted it. Now I have a baby on the way and we can still do most of that together.
No. I can't believe you really think that is going to happen. None of that can ever happen now. Not together. We're not doing anything together anymore. We're not going to live together. We're not going to sleep together. And we're definitely not going to raise a baby together. Don't you even understand what you have done? You tried to play off this baby as my own child. After you cheated on me. This is not what is supposed to happen in a marriage. We were supposed to be a team. A faithful team. Faithful to each other only.
I said already that it wasn't really cheating. It was more of a transaction than anything else. That's all it was. It didn't mean anything.
So you told this guy that this was what you wanted? That you just wanted him to get you pregnant and that was it?
Well, no. I didn't tell him any of that, but that's what I was thinking. There were no feelings or emotions involved. It was just to get the deed done so that I got pregnant.
This is insane. I can't talk to you right now. I can't even look at you. I'm leaving. I feel like my brain is going to explode. This is absolute madness.
Brad, wait! Where are you going? Let's talk about this. Isn't that what you always want to do? Isn't this something we can discuss? Brad, stop! Don't walk out of here!
Brad, what on earth are you doing? Julia told me that you walked out of the house after an argument and haven't been home in a few days. You won't even respond to any of her texts or calls. Is this the way you think you should treat the mother of your child? Just think about how much stress she is under because you are ignoring her right now. You need to go home and talk to her, or at the very least call her back. Actually, scratch that. Don't bother calling her. Just go home to her. That's what you need to do. She is not the mother of my child. She is the mother of someone else's child. I don't know who that man might be, but one thing is for certain, and that is that I am not the father of that baby. And who do you think you are to text me and demand that I go back or call her? I don't have to listen to you. I am your mother-in-law, and you should listen to what I have to say to you. All the rest of it is just semantics. She's the mother of the baby that you two will raise together. And this baby is going to be my grandkid as well. Julia is really stressed and upset right now because you won't come home. This isn't good for the baby, you know. What if she has a miscarriage? What will you do then? I am not raising that baby. There is no way in hell that I am going to do that. And if she is stressed and upset, then maybe she should think a little about how I am feeling right now. I don't really care much about how she is feeling, to be perfectly frank with you, Pauline. It would be a shame if something did happen to the child, but it's got nothing to do with me. It's beyond me to care about something like that right now. How can you be so cruel? That's not the kind of thing that I thought I would ever hear you say. She is your wife. How can you not care about how she is feeling? It's your job as her husband to care about her and make sure that she is okay. You need to get over whatever you're anxious about and go home to her right now. Forget about your feelings for the time being and make sure that she is doing all right. That's what you need to do. How she feels is much more important than your own feelings. I would have liked to think that you were aware of something like that without me having to tell it to you outright. Oh, shut up, Pauline. Like I care about what you have to say to me about this. You have some nerve trying to lecture me about what I should be doing as a husband. What about what she should have been doing as a wife? Or rather, what she shouldn't have been doing. I wouldn't be surprised if you were the one behind this somehow. You never seem to be surprised or shocked at what Julia has been doing or how she has been acting these past months. It's probably all you're doing in your insane quest to have grandkids so you can show some photos to your stupid friends. And Julia is my wife now, only in a technical sense. The two of us are obviously done. What? Don't tell me that you're thinking about divorce. That's not the right thing to do. She would be a single mother. You can't put that kind of burden on her alone. You need to think about everything before saying words like that. It's not something to just say lightly. For her sake, I won't mention that you said that to me. But you better not just throw those kinds of ideas out there like that anymore. It's not becoming of you to do that. You hear me? She cheated on me and tried to pretend that she was pregnant with my child. How do you possibly think that I would stay married to her? She chose that burden when she decided to behave in the way that she did. I'm not going to be here to pick up the pieces and make everything all right again. And you don't have to worry about whether you tell her that or not. I will tell her that myself. I can't exactly get a divorce without her knowing about it now, can I? It would be nice to not have to talk to her anymore, but I will need to until the divorce is finalized. But apart from that, she can go to hell for all I care. And you can go there along with her too. Before your mother tells you what we talked about, I thought that I would tell you myself.
Brad, finally you're texting back. Why were you ignoring my messages? Where have you been for the last few days? Can you please come home already? It's been long enough for you to calm down a little bit and get yourself together. Come back and we can talk about this properly, without all the shock and emotions that were there when I first told you.
You didn't tell me anything. I found out about it because we took a paternity test. Those are two different things. What's more, I am not coming back. Not until you're out of there, at least. I don't want to be in the same room as you, even.
What do you mean? Why do I have to leave? This is my home too, you know. Where are you saying that I am supposed to go to instead?
I couldn't care less about where you go to. I just need you out of there. Go and stay with your mom since you're so alike. She can be closer to her grandchild and you can both have a grand time being excited over the baby and even go and buy some adorable little onesies together. Doesn't that sound like a plan? Isn't that something that you would like to do?
That's something that I want to do with you, not my mom. Come home and then we can do that together. There's lots of things that we need to buy and get ready before the baby comes. There is still lots of time, but it doesn't hurt to be prepared, right?
You don't seem to understand that I am not raising that kid with you. I will have nothing to do with it. We're getting a divorce, Julia. The two of us are done. There is nothing left between us. It's over.
What? You're not really being serious about that, are you? How can you even suggest getting a divorce? We're about to have a baby.
We're not about to have anything. You're about to have a baby. I'm not. I don't have anything to do with that child.
Hold on. You can't do this. We've been together for almost 4 years and you want to throw that all away? You can't.
I can do that. And I am not the one who is throwing anything away. You did that when you decided that cheating on me was a good idea. I don't know how you were so stupid to think that I would just look past it and not care.
I thought that you wouldn't notice. I thought that you would just be happy once I said that there was a baby on the way. Maybe you were nervous about having a baby, but once you heard the news, I thought that you would think that this was the right time after all.
You thought I wouldn't notice? How could I not notice something like that? It was so obviously not my kid that I didn't even really need a test to confirm that. I only asked for one because you wouldn't stop lying to me about it and denying that you cheated.
Wait, but it was all my mom's idea. It wasn't me. She told me that if you weren't ready to have a kid yet, or at least not ready to try to have one, that you would change your mind once you knew that I was pregnant. And since we weren't even having sex anymore because you didn't trust me, the only way that I could get pregnant was with someone else.
Of course. I knew that she must have had something to do with it. I could just tell that she was there in the shadows, feeding you stupid ideas. Tell me, was the poking holes in the condoms her idea as well? I was so shocked that you would even try such a thing. That must have been something she told you to do as well, right?
Yes, it was. I'm sorry, but it's not my fault. She told me to do all that because she wanted grandkids as soon as possible. And, well, I wanted a kid too, so I went along with it.
How is that not your fault? Maybe your mom is deranged enough to suggest to you that you do that kind of thing, but you didn't have to do it. You could have said no and not done it if you wanted to, but you listened to her instead. No, there's nothing more that you can tell me. Blame your mom all you want, but you're the one who actually went through with the ridiculous plans.
So, what are you suggesting that I do now? Am I supposed to raise this baby all on my own? I don't want to do that. Being a single mother will be too much for me. I never planned on something like that. And I think that a child should have both parents around to raise them. That's the best way, you know. You can't leave me to raise this baby on my own.
You don't have to raise the baby on your own. Who said anything about that?
But isn't that what you're telling me that I have to do if we get a divorce? Now you're not making any sense.
We are getting a divorce, but that doesn't mean that you have to raise the baby on your own. You just said so yourself that the best thing for the child is to have both parents around to raise them. Well, I am not the father, but there is a father of that child around somewhere. Tell the man you cheated on me with that he's going to be a father and have a family with him.
I don't want to do that. I wanted to have a family with you, not him. I refuse to do that.
It doesn't matter what you wanted. You did the worst possible thing to make your wish a reality. Find him and tell him. Even if you're not together, he should probably still know about it.
That's not even possible. I told you that it wasn't cheating because I didn't know him. He was just some random guy that I met somewhere one time. That's all. Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to find him and tell him that, let alone actually get together and raise the child with him.
Just because you don't know him doesn't make it not cheating. If it's impossible, as you say, then I guess being a single mother really is your only option now. I'm sure your mom will help out since she was the one who was so excited about having a grandchild. Either way, it has nothing to do with me anymore. I am wiping my hands of the situation. Sort it out on your own. We're getting a divorce. That's final. I'm going to get in contact with a lawyer and suggest that you do too. The sooner that we can get out of each other's lives, the better.
No! I don't want to get a divorce! This wasn't supposed to happen! Please, Brad, just come home and let's talk about it! Brad, please! I am begging you to come back now! Just stop all this talk of divorce and let's try and forget about this whole thing. Let's pretend that it didn't happen and we will go back to how things were before. Can't we do that?
I am not coming home until you are out of there. I told you that already. And how am I supposed to just pretend that none of this happened when you are pregnant with another man's child? Can you tell me that, Julia? Just exactly how am I supposed to ignore that little detail?
I've thought about it. I can get an abortion. If I get an abortion, then I won't be pregnant with his baby anymore. Then we can forget about the whole thing. We can wait to have our own baby until you're ready. Maybe I was being too rash with it and tried to rush it. I can see that now. But I will wait this time. You were right that we had discussed and decided together that we would wait. So that is what we should do.
I guess it's true what they say that hindsight is 20/20. But none of that matters now. You could have thought about that earlier and come to that conclusion before you pulled this insane stunt. But now it is too late. It is much too late. And getting an abortion? Well, I won't say anything about that. You can decide yourself what you want to do about that, but it won't change anything in my view. Even if the baby isn't on the way anymore, it doesn't change the fact that you cheated on me and tried to pretend that the baby was mine. That's not even mentioning the way you were acting before that, too. This isn't something that I can look past. And I don't think that anyone else could do that either. So you can get the abortion if you want to, but don't get it because you think that it will somehow make me forgive you or bring me back to you. It won't, and I want to be very clear about that. You really wanted a baby, to the point where you didn't even care who the father was going to be. It seems sad and even cruel to now go ahead and abort the baby because you didn't get things to work out the exact way that you wanted them to.
Why doesn't it change anything, though? I admit that, okay, I did cheat on you, but it wasn't out of any feelings for this other guy. If the baby isn't around anymore, then can't we just try to work through the fact that I cheated? Do we really have to get a divorce just because of that? There are plenty of couples who work things out and stay together even if one of them was unfaithful. Can't we try and do that as well? What's stopping us?
Maybe there are couples that do that, but I think it's a stupid thing to do, to be honest. They can do that and good for them. I am not a person who will forgive a partner for cheating on me. That's all there is to it. I will never be able to trust you again, and even the thought of sharing a bed with you again makes me sick. There is no way forward for us from here. The only thing left to do is get a divorce and remove each other from our lives. What you do with the baby is your own choice, and your choice alone. I hope that you think about it carefully, though, and don't do anything too rash like you did with your recent decision. If you get an abortion, that's a life that will never come back. You should consider things long and hard before you go through with anything. Now, don't message me again. I will contact a lawyer and we can do our communication through them. Like I said before, hire a lawyer for yourself so that we can get this over and done with as soon as possible. Oh, and Julia, there is one more thing that I want to say to you before I go.
Yes, Brad? What is it?
Go to hell. It still took quite a long time for Julia to come to terms with the fact that she had ruined our relationship and that there was no salvaging it in any way. She tried to continually call and text me, and left me voice message after voice message. I ignored her the best I could, but refrained from blocking her until the divorce proceedings were in motion. At one point, she even went to my mom's house to talk to her and try to get my mom on her side to talk me out of the divorce. I hadn't actually even spoken to my mom about what had happened yet, so she must have gotten quite the shock when Julia explained to her what had gone down between us. Needless to say, my mom was definitely not on her side and kicked her out of the house screaming at her the whole while. Eventually, after sensing that there was no hope in us staying together, Julia finally hired a lawyer and we got the divorce proceedings started. It was a tough time for me during that period and I was struggling to work on my business while going through all of that. But in the end, it was done and I could move on with my life. We had bought the house together, so we put it on the market and split the amount that we got on the sale. We still had a mortgage, and we lost some in the sale, but what can you do? I moved into a much smaller place that was enough for just me and rented instead. The rent was luckily lower than the mortgage payments, and I hoped to save some money that way and maybe reinvest it into my business. Julia decided not to get an abortion in the end and tried to find the father of the baby. She had apparently met him in a bar in town and went there hoping that he would show up one day. He didn't, and she had to give up on that avenue. Thankfully, she had the good sense not to drink anything alcoholic while she was watching out for him. She moved in with her mother and got ready for the baby to come. She had to resign herself with being a single mother, but at least Pauline was ready to help her. They both found it rather difficult, even Pauline, who obviously had experience raising kids in the past. There were even a few times when Julia had the nerve to ask me for money since she couldn't even get any child support out of the absent father. Of course I said no and blocked her on everything that she could possibly contact me on, and I never heard from her again. It seems that the two of them are struggling through raising the baby during the early stages. It was a rough shock for me to deal with this whole situation. But I am glad that I had the sense to ask for a paternity test and find out that I really was not the father of that child. It seemed rather obvious to me given the circumstances, but the test proved that without any shadow of a doubt. It was very hurtful for me, of course, but at the same time, I do hope that Julia is successful in raising the baby, for the baby's sake. They did nothing wrong and deserve a good life just like anybody else. Now that she made the decision to have the baby and raise it, I hope she follows through with that choice and shows the baby love in all respects. It seems like my own plans to have a family have been pushed back indefinitely, but I have a lot of work to occupy myself with, and that will be my main focus for the foreseeable future.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to see more content.